Hello and welcome back to our tale of intrepid adventurers caught in the frozen north. In our last session, the wondrous players struck out in the frozen waste to locate a missing map maker. A local cartographer had gone missing, and upon finding their way to his last known location, a small fishing hole, well, it should be a small fishing hole, in the middle of a frozen lake, a couple hours away from town. The party investigated, and while they were investigating, they were attacked by a strange mer beast, who Bale correctly identified as a marrow. The party, on their way back, after a very dramatic scene, which I will not spoil if you're going to watch later, the party, on their way back, managed to talk amongst themselves and stay overnight in a rather weathered fishing shack. They struck out in the morning and made their way back to Burrowsden, where we will pick up this story. However, the missing man, the missing cartographer, was still absent from the location. They did find some personal effects of his, as far as they could tell, as well as some valuable objects. But no sign of the man himself. The party, confused, makes their way back to Burrowsden and enters back in through the gates. My friends, what would you like to do as you make your way back to the gates of Burrowsden?
I think Wilder and I need to go to a couple of different places, but first and foremost, we need to go to the blacksmith.
We
Right, man.
also, I need to take an assessment of what I found on that body when I left.
I would like to go to the tailor to get my clothes
Also,
mended.
is it okay if I mentioned on the way back, we probably want to let the tanner know what happened to his friend and maybe give him like a small portion of the gold we found and just say that's what we found when we found all of his stuff at the lake. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Yeah, we should definitely return his effects to him, like
You guys don't want
everything
to
that
Some
get
was
a
on the
good
sled.
meal after
well,
a long journey?
I
absolutely
also
that
agree to
is
that.
Like it was like a cold journey. I'm hungry. You guys are probably hungry. We're
yeah.
cold.
Yeah, and
Story's definitely
we can
cold.
Uh,
discuss
So
business
cold.
over dinner. That sounds good.
First thing we should do, yeah, go to the bar, get some food, and then we'll talk and
Let's
disperse.
let's let's get some nice noms. Maybe some beer.
Let me just
So
populate the inn. So, first things first, you guys are headed to the inn then?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're all
hot
gonna go to the
meal.
inn together.
Alright. You guys push your way back through town, cold, tired, some of you still a little damp from the day prior. But you manage to make your way through the town without too much of a fuss. Looks like the townspeople are just kind of moving about with their days. You see some people walking out of the familiar general store, the And Needle. You see someone walk out of the Nail as well, kind of meandering, going about their business with the regular townsfolk. When you arrive back into the warmly lit interior, the sounds of soft voices reach your ears, as well as the crackling of the crystals in the fire, just slowly crackling and breaking apart and releasing their kind of orangish flames from the bluish crystals.
I instantly go to the hearth and warm my hands.
I go to the bar and order some food and drink.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
also go. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. What are you doing, Bale?
I also go to the bar and I wait for Elrond to order his food, but like I want to have a word with the bartender.
Anything specific for you gentlemen today, or just the special?
That was fine.
I'll have it right out
Food,
for you.
please.
That'll be four then.
Yeah.
He turns his head to the back, and do any of you speak Dwarvish?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
Give it a few quick moment. He says something in a low tone that you just assume is Dwarvish to the door in the back, and you hear a reply back in common, kind of muffled through the door. Yes, sir, right away.
We haven't heard this voice before, have
It was a feminine voice.
we? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your best guess would be it would be the waitress who goes, and you've seen her run back and forth through the kitchens and stuff.
I look at the bartender and I sort of I glance back and like motion with my thumb towards. Wait, hold on. Is the drunk dude?
Oh yeah, he's still like passed out over in
Is
the
it the same
corner.
table in the corner?
Same
Okay.
table. Like when you went
Cool.
over there the other day, like you almost could see like an imprint of him on the table. That's like his table.
I, I do. Did you told us about the drunk guy, right? Or was it just between you and him?
I mean, we were all in the bar when he went over there, and then he came back to us. I would imagine we kind of know what happened there.
I think that's right.
I believe that Bale was in the bar with Anya,
Okay.
and
so
the
we
rest
didn't
of
know
you were
anything.
out shopping because that was
We didn't
when
know.
you fired the bow. Everyone else was with you at the general store when Bale went back to the bar.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was just me and
So we don't know anything about this drunk dude other than like the aforementioned stuff. Just like Bale saying, "I knew it. So and so was right."
Austin had also told us the drunk guy mentioned the ancient ship.
Yeah, but I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, and I'm sure somebody in the comments of the video will correct me if I'm wrong eventually, I believe you did tell the party that you spoke with him and that you needed to be careful out there, but I think you left it kind of vague.
all right. So I walk up to the bartender. I motion back towards Phyllis, the town drunk, and I say, "Listen, this guy's information was solid, and it damn near saved our lives." And I like sort of like surreptitiously, like trying not to show the whole, not like trying not to alarm people. I pull my bag in front of me, and I pull out the marrowhead to show him. He goes, "We encountered this at the lake, where he said he saw shadows moving under the ice."
The bartender tries to kind of save face for a moment, looks at you confused as you speak, and when you kind of open up your bag and show him, he kind of like takes a step back. Well, now, that's interesting. So there are monsters in the lake. Never had that kind of a problem around here before.
I tell him like quietly. I say, try not to alarm people. But if you know anyone that fishes at that spot, I understand it's a popular fishing spot. You might want to tell them to stay away until we're able to get this sorted, or at least alert the town guard.
Well, I just can't believe that people would be in that much danger so close to the lake's edge. Well, but I'll definitely let people know to stay away.
I nod. I appreciate it. I go back over and I hang out with the group.
After warming my hands up, I kind of go up to the bar and just order 2 meals, one for me and Story.
Yeah.
I ordered some came out
Oh,
there.
you did? Oh, I'm sorry.
How much money for the meals too?
That'll be 5 copper pieces each. So it'll be 2 silver if you're buying.
Yeah, I'll just buy it.
When
Order it all.
the barmaid makes her way around with this large, kind of silvered, kind of smoky-colored tray, and on top of it you see boiled sausages with freshly homemade biscuits, as well as tankards of some sort of drink. And she sets them down on the table. Well, I hope you folks enjoy.
I thank her and then eat my food.
Yep, same.
I could
So
really reach for that tankard and just quaff it down.
does Wilder have the mace in plain sight?
It's Wilder. It's weird. When you drink it, it feels thick going down. It has a very like earthy taste to it. It's not
Ooh.
bad, and it definitely, you can feel it kind of warm you up when you drink it, but it's got that kind of like earthy, kind of like almost like a grit to it.
Ooh, like is the mug earthenware?
Yes.
I peer into the mug to see if there's any residue.
It doesn't appear to be any residue other than where the liquid touched. You can see a little bit of like very, very fine particulate in it.
I shout back to the bartender, I go up to the bar, or yeah, I go up to the bartender and I
Also,
put my
the
tankard down.
the drink is kind of a smoky gray color, like the liquid inside.
Can I do a fuck, what is it? Can I do a nature check?
Sure,
to see
that'd be
if
the
I
that'd be the
recognize-
perfect check to see if you can recognize what this is.
I'm going to have like a sip of it and then just sort of push the mug over towards Bale.
Moose piss.
Oops, I think I rolled that with my advantage. 1 second.
Well, whenever you roll with advantage, we'll take the number on the left. So we'll take
Okay.
the 7. It's weird. Most of the ales you've had in your life have been barley or rye or something similar. This is whatever this is not usual for you. It's very weird.
I kind of look back at Story and the rest of the group and say like, hold on, don't be taking a drink quite yet. I walk up to the bartender and I smack the tankard, sloshing someone over it. I kind of angrily ask him, "What is this?"
I take it you'd never been to a dwarf's home before, boy. And that's wort. It's mushroom ale.
Kind of peering in there, like maybe like second guessing myself, and I hold it out to him and I'm like, "All right, you take a sip then."
My eyes snap to the mug that Story passed me, and I grab it greedily and immediately chug it
Yeah,
before she has a chance to change her mind.
It's that same sensation where it's like kind of gritty, very earthy, but like it fills you with like the alcohol warmth that kind of
drink hers
billows out from your stomach.
I drink Stories before I finish mine, just
Yeah.
because I'm afraid she'll take it back.
Low chance.
He takes it and
I
he
drink mine,
he
like,
takes it and he happily sips from it and sets it back down in front of you. If you want something else, I can get you something else.
Kind of questioning myself. I kind of grab the mug and kind of snip it, kind of looking at it weird. I'm like, never seen it like this before.
That's usually how she comes.
And I'm kind of feeling stupid amongst myself. I'm like, well, give me a second round, and I walk down back to the table.
He just laughs, turns around, and grabs a mug and starts filling it up for you.
I'm just gonna like greedily eat my sausage and like lean back and absorb as much heat from the fire as I can.
Oh, it's good. The sausage is warm, and like when you slice into it with the little bit of silverware you've been given, like it just ooze, like the juices just kind of like ooze out of it. Like it's just like perfectly cooked. The biscuits are flaky and crumbly. It's all very warm.
This is so much better than rations.
So I ate all my stuff real quick, and can I just like step outside? I think I'm just gonna step outside, and I'm gonna go through my pack and figure out all the stuff that I found from the marrow at the end there. But I don't want to do it in front of everybody inside the bar.
I mean, as you stand up and like kind of glance around the bar, I mean, with your passive perception, the people who are here aren't paying you any mind, as far as you can tell. The barkeep like is keeping an eye on your table, but he's also keeping an eye on like everybody else to make sure they don't need anything.
Okay, so if that works, then I'll just go through it and see what I got in there from Marrow's body.
While he's doing that, I sort of lower my voice and lean in towards the table while we have all 4 of us here, and I sort of say, or does Wilder have the giant made mace, like in open view?
I don't think I ever equipped it. I think I just had it like in my
Okay, cool.
pouch. Because whenever I got it, I didn't want to use it against.
I don't know if it'll fit in a pouch.
Do you have a backpack, Wilder?
It is a mace.
I believe I do. Let me double check. I have an explorer's pack and a backpack.
Yeah, so you would probably have that in your backpack then.
Okay.
Maybe like the handle might be sticking out the top.
So I sort of lean forward and I say, so about what we found at the lake. First things first, there are for sure people in this town who know who that mace belonged to rightfully. As far as I see, we have 2 options. We can either let the tanner know about it and tell him that what's his name?
Carl.
Yeah, that Carl brought it to the lake, and we could demand it as, or ask for it as payment for finding out what happened to his friend. or we could try to conceal it. But personally, I would opt for the former option, just because the fact that he brought a mace like that to the lake sort of lends credence to the idea that he was not there to fish, that he maybe knew about the marrow. And
I definitely think we should let the Tanner know of the maze because he knew his friend owned it. So
Yeah,
he
and
would've
There's
assumed
also
Marrow
the fact that,
if
you
he
know,
didn't have it.
there's a lot of money that
And-
came out of this.
yeah, I don't think we should give all of the money. I think we should also let him know that there was money there and give him maybe 10 of the 80 gold.
How much does Bale know about the Marrow from
I
his
was
nature
thinking
check?
more like 20 of the 80.
I think
so
I-
we
let
should give up
me-
5.
Let me scroll up. I think I
Like,
rolled
are
fairly.
they a creature that likes riches? Like, would he know information like that?
It had seashells.
Story. With your passive insight check, when you were listening to Elrond talk with the barkeep, something kind of stuck in your head. Something the barkeep said. I'm sorry, when Bale was talking to the barkeep, something the barkeep said stuck in your ear, and you're sitting there and you're like, wait a minute, that's really weird. The barkeep said that they fish on the edge of the lake.
And that was way out in the middle of the lake.
So
I also.
I'll mention that to everyone. Be like, that's very suspicious that we had to go so far to see his, you know, his sled, and like we don't know how long he was out there, but like he brought that crane with him. He constructed that tarp thing. Like this is all very very odd.
You guys constructed the tarp thing.
Yeah.
Oh no,
No,
you're
the
talking about
shelter.
the shelter.
fishing,
Yeah.
The fishing shelter.
Yeah, it definitely seems like he was after something down there. Like maybe he knew of the Marrow and he wanted something from them.
I
Yeah.
mentioned to the group that we
When people
originally
are-
got the fishing hole from the merchant. We
Mm.
might be able to question the merchant.
But
Also,
a
fishing
hole
holes are
too is
typically
yeah.
not that size.
It's usually
And
a small hole that would be inside the shack, so you had wind cover, not a giant one with a crane going down into it.
And Bale, to answer your question, what you know about the Marrow based on your role is that they're called Marrow. They are corrupt elves. They usually lurk within elven cities that have been reclaimed by the water. Any elven city that was on coastlines would have them if it was like a buried, sunken city. They're the plague of sailors that sail toward the north. And are often talked about as a danger, especially if you're going through the ice flows.
When
Do I know what they serve?
For breakfast?
No, I mean, do I know who their like ultimate master is?
Why don't you give me a religion
It'd
check?
probably be okay. Religion, cool.
while he does that, did I do a nature check or a history check when I tried to figure out what the Marrow was back then? It was a nature too, right?
Yeah, you
I
rolled
think
you
we
rolled
all
like
did
shit.
the same.
Yeah,
There's-
we all tried and failed.
With encountering it now and learning what Bale knows of it, would I be able to maybe do like a history check to see if like my time as a sailor I heard any stories of these things instead of
Yeah,
just-
I'll give you that. I'll give you your history check while I'm doing Bale's religion.
That's probably not going to be high enough for what I'm looking for
Well,
here.
with a 13, you don't know much about dark deities. Dark deities aren't talked about in the open light, so you don't know if they follow a dark patron or whatnot. But whenever they seem to attack boats, they seem to do so in a very organized fashion. Usually there is a leader that calls the shots. At least these are like stories you've heard. So you don't know how accurate they are per se, but that's kind of the gist of it. Is you know that they're very organized.
All right. Anyway, back to what I was saying about. Oh yeah, Elrond rolled an 18.
Yeah.
History.
And Elrond, when Bale finally reveals it to be a Marrow and begins to kind of talk about the idea of what these things are and like how northern sailors, it finally clicks in your head. You have never seen one before on your travels, but you've definitely heard sailors tell stories about these creatures. And you like I said before, you know them to be Marrow, and you also know them to be vicious. They attack shipping vessels that go through the ice flows to the north.
Would there be any stories perhaps of like greed shown from these creatures? Like are they raiding these ships for the wealth on them or just because it seems more like territorial?
since you're hearing these stories secondhand, I would say that you don't know them to be territorial because where some sailors claimed that they got their boat was attacked and people were taken thrown under pulled under the water and the treasure hold or whatever shipments they were bringing was raided. You're I mean it appears to be that whenever they attack they do it for a reason.
So I guess I could say too, since we're discussing what to do, that as far as the gold goes, from stories I've heard in my past, these creatures seem to be a bit greedy, so it wouldn't be too far-fetched to try to just say there was no gold because the creatures took it for themselves. But the mace it's a much larger, more
Yeah,
armored type
and it's
thing.
also super important that like he went there armed, like he wasn't on like a simple fishing trip, like he went there
And
with a
so
This mace is also something that serves another purpose besides just being a weapon that we
that we
currently
don't
don't
know.
know.
Yeah. Yep.
This could be
that
the
Okay.
and
key to unlocking the mystery.
it's also
Mhm.
a definitive proof that we found evidence of his friend.
Yep.
Well, we also we brought his his fishing
This tackle
sled
box.
back
Yeah.
with us, his tackle box, his robe.
Yeah.
We're
Which that's
assuming that's all his
we
stuff.
could probably give back to as the well.
Okay.
Discussing as they're discussing how Carl was like going there armed and prepared, I'm kind of disgusted that they would think somebody would go out on a lake and not go fishing. Like I'm just kind of
Well, he also did
agape.
bring his tackle box, so he
He
did go there to
did, but
get it.
I'm more aghast that how dare you guys assume that he went there with intentions of anything but fishing.
Well, the intentions may not, because we don't know his motivation. So he may not have been going there specifically to attack these Merrill, but he may have known of their existence and was trying to get something within the lake and knew he would need protection of some sort.
Of some sort of aquatic variety. One would say a fish.
Hmm. Okay. Cool. So I think the game plan is first we inform the dude that hired us. I think his name was Peter the Tanner.
Yeah, we should let
Yes.
let Peter know, let him
Oh,
know what we did and what happened.
can you tell me what I got like when I went look through my pack so I can add it to my inventory and I don't forget again?
I thought we wrote it down. Give me a second.
I forgot.
I know
now.
there were bracers off of the marrow itself.
And some seashells.
Yeah, some seashells.
The harpoon.
Well, and I may
as
be
well.
giving some of this stuff to other people. Like
Yeah.
I'll probably
Yeah.
give harpoon to Dale, I would imagine, because that's not really something I can use very well. But he is strength check could probably show that forever.
I have a lot of notes here. So bear with me for a second.
But yeah, so we can just figure out our first move. What does that? We think we just go to the tanner first, talk to him, tell him what we found.
Okay, so
and
you found a bag of shells, a small pouch of shells. You found two bracers, which were kind of made of it's this kind of silvery metal that's very heavily tarnished in green.
So I want to give one pair of each of those to Bale and Wilder because I do not wear metal things, and they may
I
be able
think
to
he
get these from them.
meant it as you found a pair.
Yeah, it's a pair. It's two.
Oh, well then I'll just give those to Wilder because Bale doesn't really wear armor either, right?
That would not count as armor. I don't think that would count against my unarmored defense.
No, it is not. It is not armor.
Plus Wilder also got the mace.
I'll give him the Bale.
As well, you also picked up the harpoon.
I'll also give that to Bale, so you can add those two things to your inventory, Bale.
Well, Wilder, do you have javelins or anything? Do you have anything ranged?
I have a crossbow.
Okay, perfect, cool. I'll hold on to the
And
harpoon.
that has like the rope attached. It would just as him doing it. It's two actions. You said right?
Yeah, the rope does not look like it is since it's been out of water for so long. The rope is heavily deteriorated now.
Okay.
I have 50 foot of rope on it, so I will cut that down to 40 and put 10 feet of new rope on his thing for him.
Okay.
As we're all discussing kind of what we received from our adventure, I kind of look over to Story and ask her if she has any new clothes that she'd be able to change out from that trunk we left in the room.
I do have another set of clothes I can change into temporarily while I get these mended, but I don't expect them to take too long. and I guess I'll go get changed into my fine clothes that I have.
Sure.
Cool. All right. So as I was saying, first
You should
we
pick
go
up
to the
sewing
guy
kit.
yeah. First
Do
we
not
go to the
have a
guy who
sewing
hired
kit.
us, Peter the Tanner, and then we go immediately to the captain of the guard and let him know that he's got a serious problem on his hands.
After the tanner, we could probably. I think I'm gonna go to the general store. Story needs to go to the tailor. You can probably go to the guard captain.
Yeah,
And
me and
like
Wilder
we
both
can
got to go to the
separate
blacksmith.
after the
Yep.
tanner.
I can
That
go to
sounds
the
good.
tailor myself and meet you all over there.
Yeah, that's probably good too. So you can get your cold weather clothes fixed and not be freezing while you're at the tanner.
DM, what time is it right now?
I would guess you guys would have left at first light, heading towards town. So it's getting to be later in the afternoon, but the sun's still up.
So
Okay.
probably just do a bit of talking, bit of investigating, sleep for the night, and then shed out in the morning for whatever we want to do when we
Cool.
decide what we're gonna do.
Sounds good.
So out of the 80 gold we actually found, I pull after distributing 20 to each of everybody here. I pull up a sack of 10 gold and say, "Are you guys fine if we give this back to Peter?"
That sounds fine with me.
So we have 10 gold in a sack ready to, or a little baggie ready to give back to Peter, and then
So did you take that out of your gold, or are we each
I
pitching in
will be,
2.5?
but at
Oh,
the
okay.
moment I still currently have it.
Okay. Cool. I'd be happy to chip in. Like, yeah, it's not a big deal either way.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, we
fine
can
with
work
mine
that out
being like
later.
3
But
gold if you need to or whatever.
did we want to? I know you mentioned it, but did you guys want to let him know about the mace or keep it hidden
No,
still?
I think we should. I think the mace will be our like we found your friend. This is like the proof. Um, and then maybe try to finagle a way to get that as the actual reward for
Well,
returning.
we have more proof besides that, but we want to say
We have
like
a
this is an
marrow
important
head.
piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, like we have the marrow head. We'll have show him the tackle box, the like clothes we found from him, the mace,
Like I think we
and
turn
then like
over everything that was on the sled except for potentially the mace and the map and the gold.
well, the only other things we really found were like very like expendable stuff. Like it was
Yeah,
like a
like I say, we make
cloth.
sure we turn all of that over.
Yeah, we found the mace, the map, the gold. I don't remember what else we found in the
There was
sled.
like
I
a
thought it was.
fine pair of robes.
Yeah, I'll turn
Oh
over the
yeah.
robes. I'll turn over the handkerchiefs. I think was the rusty daggers from the sled. It's just the most recent shit I've added. I don't think the rusty daggers were, but they're rusty daggers, so it's not like it's a
All
big
right.
deal.
So we'll go to the tanner while you go to the tailor. Do you want anybody to go with you, Story?
I should be okay. I think I'm probably gonna have to wait for my clothes anyway, so we'll see how long it takes.
All right. Well,
Coolio.
let's set up a rendezvous back here in case something happens.
Okay,
So-
and then we'll meet to go to the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll meet back here, and then we'll.
Well, the
leave
guardhouse is right
separate.
by the tanner's, so we can just go straight to the guardhouse from there. That'd probably be better, right?
If we finish before she's done, I'll go to the tailor, and then Story can just come to the general store with me
All
while you
right.
guys go to the
That
guard
sounds.
captain.
That
Perfect.
sounds good.
Okay. You guys, Elrond, Bale, and Wilder are going to Peter, and Story's going to the tailor.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Go.
All right. Let's take care of Story since she's by herself. We'll do her first.
Excellent.
So,
Alright, so I've sort of got like all of my like still kind of damp, ripped up clothes in my arms. I'm just gonna sort of walk into Taylor and be like, "Hello, is there anyone here?"
so as you walk into the place labeled Charlotte's, it's a kind of fanciful wooden carved sign with like a ream of silk unspooling just below the word Charlotte's. You step inside, and I do not have an NPC written for this, so I assume you guys haven't been here before, but you guys definitely have been here before.
No, we got our winter
yeah.
clothes at the general store.
You did,
Oh, yeah.
you did. So you're going specifically to Charlotte's then.
Yes, because I figured she would be the person to mend my clothes quickly rather than me buy a sewing kit and
Got
do
you.
a poor job.
So as you step inside, sitting behind the counter, sewing with a needle and thread, what appears to be some sort of a kind of gaudy-ish bright pink dress, is an older woman, human, kind of not salt and pepper hair, but very, very white with flecks of gray that kind of streak through her hair, long hair that pools down around her waist. The thick spectacles sitting there very carefully going. She goes, "Oh, hello, dear. Welcome to Charlotte's. Please, have a look around."
I'm actually here for something specific. I was hoping I might be able to employ you for kind of a rush job. I got these cold weather clothes over at the Nail, or was it the Needle? I can never keep them straight.
Well, I doubt any I would be able to repair anything you found over at the Nail. But if it's cloth, I can work with it.
Well, they were some cold weather clothes, and I kind of got very very wet out in the cold, and they had
Oh, well, that
my
sounds so dangerous.
It really was. And my companions, in order to save me, they had to quickly remove them from me, and it all sort of let them unfurl in my hands, as I say, it'd be like
Please,
damaged
please,
them quite severely.
set them here. And she kind of stands up from what she's doing, and she straightens up her coat she has on. You can see her hands are very, very. On her hands, you can see there's like multiple like abrasions and stuff that have long healed over the years. And she takes a look, she picks it up and she takes a look at it and kind of spins it around. You just would like these mended then?
Yes, if at all possible. I don't know how long it would take or how much it would cost.
Oh, well, if you don't mind waiting, maybe 10 minutes, and it'll just be... She kind of looks it over again. I suppose for the work and the thread, only 5 copper pieces? Unless there's something else around here that piques your fancy, I suppose you'll be out of here very quickly.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I'll pay her the 5 copper up front, and I'll start browsing around while she's working.
Yeah, she takes your stuff and she kind of slides the dress to the side, and as you're kind of glancing her, and give me an investigation check.
Get it. First roll of the night.
As you're kind of poking around and looking around.
Now you rolled
Oh.
history. You rolled really good.
Oh, yeah.
I rolled religion. I rolled okay.
I'm still set to show to GM only.
Well, the 5 is not great. I mean,
Sound her like that.
as you look around, you see winter coats, you see different things for different portions of weather. You see several very beautiful dresses. One of them is on a mannequin right in front of the front window, and it's got like one very long sleeve that would obviously like very far drape off of your hand and kind of almost pull down all the way to the ground. And the other sleeve is cut very, very short on this very deep blue dress. But other than that, nothing else really catches your attention.
While she's working, I'm just gonna like stare at this like weirdly arm-length dress and be like, fashion, this is not something I get.
You should talk to some of the noblemen. Might be able to enlighten you on some of the affairs of the court, although I can't say I sell too many of these things. Most people around here just want thick winter coats.
I'll sort of like brace myself and be like, I can see why.
All right. It doesn't take too much longer, but eventually... God damn it. You guys should be lucky I don't show the fucking chat in the videos. But as you... it takes a little bit of time, but about 5 to 10-ish minutes later, you know. All right, well, that's all done. Is there anything else I can do for you? Something you'd like to pick up, perhaps?
No, not at the moment. Thank you so much for your work, and I'll tip her another 2 copper.
And when you pick up your clothes, you can't even see where the cut was. Very expertly mended. Oh, well, thank you very much. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you need anything, I'll always be here.
Oh, thank you so much. And I guess I'll exit the store and cut to...
All right, well, cuts back to Elron, Bale, and Wilder. You make your way outside the north gate and head towards Peter's place. The barn doors are open, and you can hear what appears to be the sound of like scraping on the inside, like like metal scraping flesh.
So as I walk up to the open barn door, I like with purpose, I like set like a really sorrowful look on my face, like almost like a grieving look on my face.
Sure. Is it like genuine? Like, is it like you really don't want to have this conversation, or is it kind of like forced?
I mean, it's a little bit forced because
Okay.
my character is like a gladiator. He's seen death
Okay.
all the time. He's used to it.
All right, noted.
Hold on.
All right.
Before you actually go in the barn, though, is there any windows in the barn?
No.
No.
Well, there is a large window on the back side that you guys saw when you were last inside of it, but it is like all the way at the very top.
Alright, no, that's fine.
Yeah, not worth it.
We'll see what happens.
So I knock heavily on the wall as I walk into the open door.
Yeah, as you walk into the open doorway, you do not see Peter immediately. Instead, you see a massive unfurled sheet of white that's hanging on like a clothespin line and seeming to be
Lovely.
cured at the moment. But you do hear the sounds of someone working beyond that kind of white curtain that drapes out in front of you.
I sort of give a like a call out, like Peter, are you here?
Oh, yes. Just a moment. Kind of, you hear shuffling and you hear the setting down of tools on wood, and then you see him kind of round the corner. Oh, you've returned with poor news, I take it?
I sort of purse my lips and I shake my head. Not good news, I'm afraid.
I pull out the clothes and handkerchiefs because they kind of seem like the most personal, and like gently hand them to Peter and say, "I think we found your friend, or at least what was left of his belongings."
And I immediately sort of start explaining. We talked to Phyllis at the tavern. He told us that he tracked your friend to the lake and that he saw things moving under the lake. We went to the lake. We found a boathouse. We found tracks from a sled leading from the boathouse out to a fishing hole. We found the sled, or not to a fishing hole, to a large hole with sort of like a wooden contraption, almost like a boom, with a rope and a bucket.
It's at this
Down
point in your story where he goes from concerned to a little confused.
Anyway, we found at the hole the sled with your friend's winter coat, with his tackle box, which we recognized immediately, his mace, and a sum of 10 gold.
At the mention of the mace and the gold, I present the mace and I put the sack of gold on the clothes that he's now holding.
We used a torch to melt the gears of the boom and try to draw up whatever the rope was attached to, and something jumped out of the lake. And I reach for my pack and I pull out the marrowhead. This thing almost killed 2 of our number, and we were able to slay it. But there's no way to be sure, sir. But I have no doubt in my mind that your friend is dead, or worse.
Well,
Expelled.
when you he does not do, he accepts the items that you present to him except for the mace. He does not turn away the small bag of gold. But he kind of puts his hand up about the mace. Well, I suppose you all deserve a reward, and that might as well be the best I can do, other than... He kind of points his finger up at this. I've got a buddy coming by later today. I was hoping you'd stop by earlier, before I contacted him. He's a mage of sorts, likes to travel around. He said he might be able to do something with this.
With the pelt.
Yes.
What does he have in mind?
Perhaps leather armor of sorts?
Well, armor is a little out of the question, but hide isn't thick enough for that. And he kind of pulls on it a little bit after setting the clothes down on a nearby table. And it's obvious to you that he's trying to avoid talking about his friend. Instead, he's kind of buried himself into his work now.
I hold up my hand. Listen, sir, if you want to take some time, I know this is terrible news. We would be happy to conduct business tomorrow or at some other juncture, if you would prefer. Did I DC?
No.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
I definitely was not muted, and I definitely did not have an entire conversation with myself there. You gotta love the muting on my
very
microphone.
I was
long.
like silence. I was like, I definitely DC.
I
Long,
apologize. I
solemn
apologize for that.
sigh.
It's all good.
Well, my friend Claudius is coming into town this evening, and he'll be heading to Chorl in the morning. So this, I suppose, would be the best time to take care of this business. Unless you're not interested. If you're not interested in any sort of a magical enhancement, you can, of course, take the cured
No,
fur
no,
now.
absolutely. We will hear you out. If this is the best time and you don't need a minute, we will absolutely hear you out.
Oh, like I said, my friend Claudius is a mage of some rapport, and he said, well, the conversations we can have are very short whenever he does choose to contact me to let me know he's coming back into town. But I told him about this, and he kind of gestures to your large pelt, and he said he might be able to fashion a cloak out of this that might protect you from the elements.
Just one?
Unfortunately, he says a lot of the material needs to be consumed for the ritual process, but he said he'll be able to do it tonight when he stops by, if you're so interested.
And what would that cost? And my character gets kind of like a shrewd look in his eyes. He sort of narrows his eyes a little bit.
He pauses for a long moment, thinking to himself. To be honest with you, it was very strange, and my friend Claudius is a little eccentric at times, but he said that you'd need it, and that he'd do it for free.
I sort of looked at my companions. What do you guys think? This sounds a little good to be true.
I'm sorry, I was talking to Wilder in chat. What is the mage
You
gonna
got,
do for
the mage is he says he's gonna fashion something to protect us from the cold weather, like one cloak to protect us from the cold. But he says he'll do it for free and that we will need it at some point. Is what the mage said apparently.
I grunt in
yeah.
agreement.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, I nod. I said that sounds fantastic.
Maybe have him do it smaller and for a woman, because we should probably give it to Story for extra
Yep.
protection, because you definitely don't need it as a dragon.
Well, I don't know how familiar you are with magical items, but I'm sure he could make that happen. If not, he might even be able to magically have it resize itself. I'm not really sure what the limits of his abilities are.
I sort of nodded at him. Excellent. And I immediately hand him 5 gold for the completion of the tanning and the curing of the hide.
Like I said, he'll be here later tonight. He also has a cart full of magical wares if you guys happen to have the spare gold for that sort of thing. But he can be a very generous man at times, and very shrewd at others. It just depends on the type of day you catch him.
I nod again. Thank you for everything, and we're sorry about the result of our investigation. We wish we could have found your friend alive.
Yeah, he turns more downtrodden at that. Well, you did the best you could, and at the very least, you were willing to go and do what others would not, and I very much appreciate that.
Before I go, I sort of ask him, do you have a place to stay inside the walls in case things get dangerous out here?
Well, we can always go to the inn if need be, or if there's ever the threat of wolves attacking the civilization. The guard towers, and he kind of like points his hand, like he like moves over towards the door and points his hand. It's right there, so they'll see if anything bad comes our way.
I nod. Good, and I take my leave.
Wait, are you expecting something? Oh, okay.
I pointed. I sort of motioned at the pack where I pulled the marrowhead from. I said, "You never know."
I suppose that's fair.
I ask him after Bale's kind of concluding with talking to him. Who else? Do you know who else uses this fishing hole that you and your friend would go to?
From the sounds of things, he wasn't even at the fishing hole. He was somewhere else entirely, which is strange. We usually fish just off the sides of the small little shack that's out there. We usually keep a boat in it during the winter, though.
I probe him more. I'm like, do you know what would have him go out into the middle of the lake with any intentions other than fishing?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Can I assist
Ooh.
since I'm still with him?
Sure. What do you say to assist him?
Say, just, are there any,
Standing by.
rumors of, like, something that is in that area? Anything that has been heard that is outside of fishing, like anything under the water?
Okay. All right.
Told in town?
Wilder, go ahead and make your roll with advantage.
Big fucking rolls.
All right. Persuasion.
Oh, there we go.
17. All right. He looks trepidatious for a few moments. There was this rumor, right, that he heard when he was visiting Fellflame Hold, that there might have been something beneath the lake, but I don't think it's true. Some sort of a rumor of ancient ruins down there. But, I mean, there are ancient ruins all over Arcadia.
I kind of nod hearing this, and I probe even further. I'm like, how long ago was he in Fellflame Hold?
That would have been maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. He was only there to visit a colleague of his at the Dwarven Library. The something of stone, they call it.
I perk up the mention of library and something of stone, and I'm like, do you happen to know this friend he was interacting with?
Nah, I can't say I do. Probably with somebody who used to buy Peter's maps. Peter's? Not Peter. Fuck, the other guy. What's his name? Carl. Carl. He was probably one of those people who was buying Carl's maps, to be honest with you. Or it could have been somebody he knew from before he moved here.
I ask him, kind of head bowed, a little bit darker or saddened. I asked, would it be all right if we look through Carl's things to see if we can find a good contact? So hopefully this person doesn't persuade anybody else to go looking for danger.
Well, I need to get his affairs in order. I mean, I tell you what, if I gotta clean out his house because he's gone. I mean, if I find anything, I'll let you know.
I solemnly nod and I said, "Thank you very much, sir. I'm sorry for your loss. He was a great map maker and a fantastic fisher."
You all are staying at the inn again, correct?
Yeah,
Yes, we
I
are,
think we
sir.
need to rebook rooms though, because I think we didn't pay for the one night that we weren't there.
I'm going to perform for mine.
I'll let Claudius know to drop the cloak off to you guys whenever he's done with it. Over there.
Please let us know when he's in town. I'm sure we would like to speak to him and see what he's offering. in
Sure.
terms of,
He'll be here. He said around sundown. So you've probably got 3 or 4 hours left before he shows up.
All right. I think we need to go to the guard cap. Do we want to go to the guard captain now or the blacksmith?
But before I
Guard
leave real
captain,
quick,
since it's right down the road.
before I leave, I pull out the bag of shells and I ask if he knows anybody in town that may be able to craft this into a necklace.
He kind of cause just glances in the bag. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Clara over at the general store might be able to help you if you just head over to Ann Needle. She's got like different lengths of rope and stuff. She might be able to fashion something out of it.
Cool, thank you. And then I make my leave and head to the tailor to meet up with Story.
Sure. You actually meet Story on the road as she's on her way to meet you guys.
Okay.
What are you trying to fix there, Story? You got problems?
I went to link my popular demand to the chat, so just for everyone else, and it automatically sent it to you.
Yeah, because you're still on send to me mode.
Yes, how do I
At
disable
the
that?
very top, near advantage and disadvantage, there's a public and GM.
Yeah, top left.
There it is.
We don't use that in the other. We didn't use that in the other games, so you're not used to it.
Thank you.
I was like, she didn't send anything to us.
No, she did not. She's whispering me. As a note, if there's anything during the game that you all would like the others not to know about, like a hidden role or something, you can always whisper me. Or you can message me on
go
Discord
to
and I can just
GM
check my
and say,
phone.
"Hey."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just give me a nudge to tell me to check my phone.
So Bale and Wilder are going to the guard captain. I'm meeting up with Story.
Yeah, you meet Story about almost halfway. It took you guys a while to walk over there and for you to walk back, so she's just like exiting the tailor whenever you arrive with her.
I'm looking very pleased with myself.
Cool. And do you want to come with me to the general store?
Sure, that sounds fun. Maybe we'll, yeah, that sounds good.
So well, I'll handle them, and then we'll deal with Bale and Wilder here in a moment when you guys go into the guard captain, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, Story and Elrond, you step inside the familiar interior of the And Needle, and immediately you realize something is very off here. The elven proprietor, who you had met the previous days, is not sitting behind the counter. Instead, it is a small, portly, gnomish woman standing behind the counter. The bow, Elrond, that you had your eyes on, is no longer on the mantle, nor does it show any sign of ever being there.
Oh, jeez.
Rip. So,
Welcome
I
to
guess
welcome to the End Needle. Anything I can do for you folks?
I immediately approach the counter and inquire about the woman who was here the day before and where she might have been. I cannot remember her name.
The woman,
We didn't get her name.
the gnomish woman behind the counter, looks super confused. Well, I mean, this is my store, and I mean, I've been here every day for the last like year and a half.
You were here yesterday?
That's correct.
I want to insight check her.
Sure, give me an insight check. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and roll a d20. Because you oppose insight checks. She seems genuinely confused.
I'm just gonna be like, so there was no one else here yesterday, and we've talked to someone else. Like, you don't remember us coming in here yesterday, talking to you? There was a bow behind the counter.
The whole time you're talking, she's just shaking her head confused. No, I can't say I have, but welcome to Sparrowsden. It's a pleasure to have travelers come through, even if they are a bit confused. Feel free to look around. We have any supply you could possibly need under the sun.
What about under the water?
She is taken aback for a moment. Well, I suppose the water is under the sun, but what exactly are you looking for?
We may be getting ourselves into a little bit of an aquatic adventure, and anything you have that would assist us in that would be most appreciative.
With your insight check, there's like a wave of panic that goes over her face, as no one has ever asked her that question before. Well, and she's like very quickly looking around the store trying to like find anything.
It's fine.
Um,
I'm sure we're here for some other things, and I'll sort of like nudge Elrond with my elbow.
I pull out the bag of shells and ask if she may be able to craft this into a necklace of sorts.
Well, I don't typically do that sort of thing. We usually just resell things that are bought in Chorrol or things from Fellflame Hold. But I'm happy to sell you what you need to be able to do that. We do sell bits of twine and bits of rope. We also have small bits of light chain, and she's like pointing to different sections of the store as she talks.
Do these sections of the store match up with how the store was arranged yesterday?
Everything looks the exact same. Maybe one or two things might be missing from last time, but everything else looks the exact same from last time you guys were here.
Oh, this is spooky.
Curious. 'Cause I don't really know how magic works so much in this. Could Story, since she knows magic, do like arcane check or something to look for signs of magic, or is that not really how magic works?
Well, I
I
mean,
am not proficient in
you're-
Arcana currently.
you can roll in my game, even if you're not proficient. If you'd like to make an Arcana check to figure out what the hell is going on, you can
I'm
roll.
definitely
I
confused, and
know
I would.
literally
I'll-
nothing of
I'll give you, Elrond, I'll give you an option. You can you can roll Arcana, or you can roll Religion. Your choice.
I'm also perplexed, but I would be going for Arcana here. I feel like something.
No,
bad
you can roll Arcana if you so choose.
Before I do that,
Elrond is allowed to choose.
I'll buy twine from the lady and like conclude the business with her.
Sure, it's a copper piece for the small spool of twine you pick up.
And I thank her for that, and I'll go ahead and do a religious check, because from my vision it was like an ancient deity or something that I found from like elf lore.
It was a stag, I believe. That you chased through
Yeah,
the
but
woods.
it was a stag, but it was of a goddess that takes the form of a stag.
I'm also going to buy some rations, if that's cool.
Okay.
Ugh.
Story with your 17. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that your experience here was altered in a magical nature. You can't pinpoint why or what happened, but it's not beyond the realm of what's possible with magic. Elron, that deity's name is Luna, and she is the goddess of the moon. That's information you got last time. And you're not really getting any more information, like trying to piece things together. This is just a very strange situation you found yourself in.
Okay, I'm just gonna buy like another 5 things of rations since I did not bring enough with me last time.
Sure, rations are 1 silver piece per day of ration.
Okay, I'll hand over 5 silver.
Fantastic.
What? Okay, so what do I gotta do to make twine and shells together into a little necklace?
Now, you would just need some type of device or tool to basically break a small hole into the shell so you can string it through.
Would like one of my little nails work?
Yeah, and your nail would work fine. It would probably take you a little bit of time to do so.
Well, I'll wait and I'll do that when we go back to the bar. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I needed at the general store. I thought there was. But I'm blanking. With the lady gone, that takes out like half of it. But
All right, well, if you think of anything, just shoot a message in the chat and let me know. But I'm going to move on to Bale and Wilder.
yeah.
So the two of you, departing from your friend Elron, make your way to the guard tower as he walks past and continues towards the town center. The two of you find yourself back outside the guard tower.
I walk up to the door and I knock on it heavily.
You see a figure kind of poke their head down, look down, and then disappear over the banister. A few moments later, the door kind of creaks open. Come in. It's called out.
Alright, I walk in.
It's the
Follow.
the guard captain, the same one you saw before. Have a seat, gentlemen. What can I do for you today?
I look him square in the eye with a super serious look on my face. I say, I never caught your name, friend.
Oh, it's I have it written down in my notes, but it never came up last time.
Did we ever give him our name?
It's Carrion. Karion.
Got it. Carrion. I've only been in your town a week or so, and everyone here seems like good folk. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and then I look even more serious. I sort of lower my eyebrows and said that you've got a serious problem on your hands. And then I reach into my pack and I dramatically plop the arrowhead down on the table in between us.
He doesn't flinch, but his expression goes from welcoming to very serious.
The tanner hired me to track to find out what happened to his friend. I guess he was something of a missing person for some time. We tracked him out to the lake to past what I understand was a popular fishing spot, out to the middle of the lake where there was a large opening. We found his effects, and we lit a torch, and this thing jumped out. It almost killed 2 of our number.
I can't spare enough men to go out there and patrol, but I can keep people away from the lake. At least I can try.
I nod. I say, good. I'll say, my friends and I are thinking we might be able to handle this problem, but chances are we will need funds to do so. Is there anything you or the owner of the mine would be able to spare to help us in this endeavor?
When you say handle the problem, just exactly what do you plan on doing?
Go into the lake and kill them all.
Well, unless you can lure them out to the surface one by one, I take it you only do underwater then.
That would be correct.
Do you have means of doing so?
We intend to find means. I know there's a magical trader coming to town soon. I also know the people at the general store are generally good with not no pun intended, with that sort of thing.
He kind of pauses and looks up towards the stairs, and then looks back toward you. Well, Pittman's not going to help you. I'm going to just be honest with you. He's not. Pittman is a shrewd man. He might have some things that might be of help to you, but he's not going to help you. He cares more about the mine than he does anybody who lives in the town. And more about profits than anything else.
As I hear the guard captain kind of shirking away from helping us, I kind of reach towards the Marrow's head and I kind of pick it up. I'm like, "Sir, you know how dangerous these Marrows are?"
He kind of puts a hand up to stop you. I didn't say I wouldn't help you. I said Pittman won't help you. I don't know that I have enough funds to secure whatever you need. Pittman's brother is an alchemist. He likes to send Pittman a care package every once in a while. He's got a big collection in his office. If you guys had been there, you'd know. He's got vials upon vials of strange liquids and strange things.
Would you
No.
be willing to part with those?
I doubt it.
That's under my breath. Shit.
Now, it's up to you all what to do with that information. As far as I'm concerned, we never had the conversation about it.
I nod. Is there anything else you can give us?
Well, I know that some people in the town have some night festivities that happen inside the mines. I turn a blind eye to it. They pass me a few coins every once in a while. Just so happens that Pittman's office is also near that area.
I nod, and you can see my character isn't like the brightest bulb in the closet, but he's sort of like you can see the wheels turning in his head. I say, so if we went to the mines to go to the fights, we would have a reason to be in that area at that time of night.
Yeah, I mean, my boys don't pay attention who goes in the mines at night. As far as anybody's concerned, it's closed.
I give him a level look. I say thank you.
He winks at you, and then kind of like turns and looks back up the stairs, and then turns back. Is there anything else I can do for you, gentlemen? Or are you just here to inquire about the bounty?
I ask him, "Was there anybody actually else looking for Carl, or was it just the tanner?"
Well, I think Town Drunk went out that way. At least that's what Peter told us. But I mean, I sent some boys to go look. They poked around the lake edge where the people like to fish. They didn't find anything. They came back.
So, yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead, sorry. No.
I lean in. I say, last time we asked you about the bounty, you said it came from Fell Flame Hole. Do you have any further information for us this time?
Unfortunately not. You notice he's noticeably raised his voice up. That if someone were to overhear, they would hear this part of the conversation. I can't say that I have any more information on the guy. Just that if we were to see him, just bring him in, dead or alive. Apparently he stole something pretty important, but that's about all I got.
I sort of nod my head and I'm waiting for the next part. Like I nod my head hurriedly.
Well, if there's nothing else you gentlemen need, just stop back by if you have any more questions for me. Or if y'all take out any more wolves, we're always paying bounties for those.
Will do, I say. Thanks again, Carrie.
Before we leave, can I do an investigation check to see if there's any papers on a desk or any open books that might be noticeable?
I mean, there are papers on a desk, but there's currently a marrowhead leaking out a kind of black, viscous fluid.
I take the marrowhead and I put it back in the bag.
You don't. Whatever ledger was there before is still there, but it's closed on the side of the desk.
Okay.
I'll
So there's nothing for us to glean at.
Yeah. I'll clean up and I'll see if I can't find a reward for you folks for doing that deed.
I nod and grunt and say thank you.
All right, so we leave and we head to the blacksmith.
I guess me and Story can just meet him there. Or we
Yeah, they probably arrive around the blacksmith as you guys are stepping outside. We'll just say it's a nice, convenient time when you all are kind of in the center square together.
works.
Now, Bale and Wilder, with your passive perception checks, the other two look perturbed when you see them. They look very confused and perturbed.
I ask Aileron if he got anything, or if he got to make his pretty shell necklace.
I told him I got some twine to do it, but I also told them that the woman that was there the night before that had the bow and spoke Elvish wasn't there. And that the
She is
current
gone. She is gone. She
proprietor-
is gone.
The current
nice
proprietor
lady-
of the inn has never heard of her.
And
or-
It's a little gnome woman, and she doesn't look anything like the elf lady.
so Bale being stupid Bale being stupid sort of like nods his head. He's like, yeah, no, they have a different person on duty. Yeah.
No.
mean,
Like
sure.
she's never worked there before. She's the only person, the little elf lady. She's never been there. It's always been the
The
gnome.
woman claims
gnome
she was
woman.
there working yesterday when we came and has no memory of us coming in there.
Aghast, I asked, so the lady who sold us the great fishing equipment's no longer there?
Yes.
Yes.
But everything that was in the store is still in the store,
Except the bow.
except the bow.
Hmm.
It's
Grave times
weird.
indeed.
I think it's magic.
There is a loud, brilliant flash that happens in the city square, maybe 20 feet away from where the rest of you are standing. And after the flash has abated, it kind of causes you to recoil and move your hands a bit. There is a large cart standing where the flash emanated from, as a strangely well-dressed, like, this beautiful, like, noble as attire chest piece with frills that kind of comes up, and he's got, like, a corsage. This elven man with striking, like, very elven features is sitting there, and he kind of pats off and dusts off his coat for a quick moment.
Holy shit! Bale yells.
Yeah, magic like that.
Hello, friends.
Bale is
I'll be opening in just a few moments. Don't mind me. And he kind of snaps his fingers, and the cart vanishes before your eyes. In the spot where the cart was, all the snow in a large circle around where he arrived has all vanished. And you can just see, like, the flat, dry earth underneath.
Bale is immediately appalled and begins like ranting at the man. Just, what were you thinking? What if there were like kids playing there, dude?
Oh,
What if
don't
someone
worry.
saw
Don't
running
worry,
across
my
the-
friend. I definitely looked before I leaped. I'm not the kind of gentleman who would do that sort of thing.
Bale stops short and goes like sort of nods his head skeptically, like okay.
Oh, I do very much apologize, my very shiny dragonborn friend. My name is Claudius. It is a pleasure to meet you.
I forward and say, don't mind my friend. He doesn't really like magic much.
Well, I suppose there are many naysayers in the world.
Wilder kind of looks bright-eyed, steps up to Claudius, introduces himself. I'm Wilder. I haven't seen such incantation work before. What magnificence brought you about to our land?
Oh, well, I'm just a traveling merchant of sorts, and I'll be by in a few hours to sell my wares. I have some business I need to take care of just on the edge of town. I just wanted to drop off my things first.
I sort of brighten with recognition, like, oh, you'd be the gentleman who spoke
Peter.
to the tanner. Yeah, you would be the gentleman who spoke to Peter about our winter wolf skin.
I am Claudius the Enchanter, after all, and of course, Enchanter in more ways than just one. He kind of flashes you a smile with that.
Bale looks
Ah,
sort of
you must be
shrewdly
the young fledgling group of adventurers I've heard so much about.
At the mention of him saying fledgling adventurers, I kind of puff out my chest and
Yeah, no, Bale flexes to make himself look bigger.
I'm gonna do like a shy little wave.
I'm just kind of there.
Like I said, I am on a timetable, so I will be happy to show you all my wares later. And if you'll stop by the cart, I'll be happy to give you your hard-earned reward for defeating the Winter Wolf.
I nod, like still with like kind of the shrewd look in my eyes. Goes, and would you be selling other things on this fine day?
Of course. That is what a merchant does, after all, is it not?
All right.
He
I
gi-
nod and say, "We'll be back to we'll be to see you as soon as you get back. I'm sure."
As soon as you begin talking and kind of waylaying your sentence, he gives you a deep, humbling bow. And he says, well, I'll be off. I'll catch you all later.
I'm gonna like try and curtsy in response to the bow, because it's polite.
He flashes you all a smile again, and he raises one hand up, and he snaps his fingers and vanishes.
I need
Alright,
magic like that.
I sort of look to Wilder. Better take care of the blacksmith quick. This gentleman may not be here for very long.
I grunt in approval.
When you go to the blacksmith, can I just like sit in the corner and feed my shells through the twine?
Yeah. It's easy enough for you to do. It just requires a little bit of your time and a little bit of your concentration.
I'm gonna say that I'm temporarily just gonna go back to the inn and just sort of talk to the innkeeper about maybe trying to perform this evening to secure lodging for myself.
He says, yeah, seems well enough. It'll bring more people in to hear your music coursing through the streets again. Be happy to have you.
Oh, thank you very much. I may have to leave for a short time, but I'll begin now. I'll just start like idly playing on my lute.
Sure. So everybody else is going to the blacksmith, correct?
Correct.
I'll just go back to the inn and do my fiddling there while they do the blacksmith. I don't have anything to do there. So I'll just
Sure.
go with-
You listen to Story strum upon her lute, I believe.
Yes.
Strum on her lute and sing a tale of a song of a sparrow flying through the wind, and it helps you keep pace with your work. All right, Bale and Wilder, the two of you step back into the familiar smithy, the Nail. The dwarven proprietor is around the corner, but you can hear him. The clang, clang, clang. I'll be right with you.
I sort of nod and lean up against a wall.
I begin perusing to see if there's any shields that I take notice of.
Yeah, you see several shields in different varieties. Some with different sigils on them. Some simple. Some with some wooden shields with leather stretched out over the wood itself, surrounded in like thick metal plating on the outside. Eventually, you hear the sound of metal being squelched by water. He kind of rounds the corner, and you can see his face is covered in like soot. You folks again. All right, so what it'll be today? More nails. Maybe some more arrows for your friend who didn't show up today.
I sort of nod and say, to start off, we need 2 shields, and I'll be needing a whetstone and some weapon oil as well to keep things from rusting.
Well, take your pick. He kind of gestures up at the wall filled with numerous amounts of different types of shields. There's like 6 different kinds there, and there's several that are duplicates of others.
I sort of raise like what passes for an eyebrow on my scaly face at him. I go, "Do you have anything in metal, like a metal buckler or something of the sort?"
Well, if you're looking for a small buckler, sure, I've got some stuff. He kind of gestures to another part of the room. For somebody as yourself, you're probably going to want one of those. And he again gestures towards the wall. They're lightweight, made of hardy oak. You got fox hides stretched around them, which is a lot tougher than people give it credit for once it's been cured.
How would that do in the water?
If you're looking for something you can get wet.
That's correct.
Kind of pauses for a moment. Well,
That'd be what the weapon oil's for.
if you're willing to pay, well, if you're just looking for something that's gonna last, and he kind of walks over to the part with the shelves, and he kind of pulls off that first shield, and he kind of tosses it to the side, and he grabs another one, and he tosses that to the side, and he grabs the one behind that one, and tosses that one aside, and behind it is a solid steel shield with this dwarven rune that's been carved on it. And he kind of gestures it over to you to try it on. Put your arm through the strap, you won't be disappointed.
I do so.
Feels good. It's very finely balanced. You kind of hold it up in a defensive posture. It feels good. It's about the right size for you too.
Okay. How much would this be costing?
Let's see. I originally made it for a knight who never showed up. Definitely not going through the book right now looking for prices for shields.
10 GP.
Well, it was made for a knight originally, and he never showed up. Say 9 gold, we'll call it even.
Deal. And I begin counting out the gold immediately.
You just want some oil to help protect your weapon from the weather,
That'd be right.
as well as a whetstone. Well, I'll toss it in for you. I'll grab some vials.
Lovely.
You kind
And
of
then I turn, and before he goes, I say, remember, my friend needs to be fitted for a shield as well.
Sure, you're looking for the same kind of thing. I only had one solid metal, but the wooden ones will hold up pretty well if you end up going in the drink.
Perusing over his shields, I said, that'll do fine for me.
You can hear him talk as he kind of rounds the back. It's actually kind of surprising. You would think a dwarven warrior would want to keep his damn shield. The rune on the front of it stands for Stortur, means unbreakable. At least that was supposed to be the damn dwarf's nickname. But like I said, it never showed up. He eventually rounds the corner back to you. Here you are, and he sets down 2 small crystalline vials down that are kind of almost pyramid shaped. These will keep your gear pretty safe should you hop in the water.
I nod and I pass him the 9 gold and scoop up the weapon oil.
Sure. He also sets down a whetstone on the table as well. You can have that one as well.
Thank you very much.
At the mention of the dwarven language, I inquire him. I'm like, what normally does a great dwarven warrior fighter take to battle?
It's usually an axe and a shield most of the time. You'd be surprised how often us dwarves are prone to hammers, though. Hammers not liable to get caught in something's skull.
After hearing the word hammer, I kind of perk up, and I'm like, do you know of any hammers from Frostfell that might be helpful in aquatic warfare?
Aquatic warfare. You think you all were going on a sea voyage expecting to fight witches out on the water. A hammer? No. The water's going to slow you down too much. What you're really looking for there is a spear, and he gestures over to one thing. That'd probably be your best bet. Keep things away from you. The water's not going to slow it down nearly as much when you go to thrust it into your enemy. As well as small daggers work well underwater.
Do you have any tridents that would be able to be wielded one-handed?
Kind of looks around the store. I'm afraid not. Like I said, I got plenty of spears. Local militia likes to use those, so I always keep them plenty in stock. They like to break them, too.
How much would a spear and a shield cost me?
Well, if you're looking to pick up that shield there, the one you're holding, that'll be 9 gold for the shield. I cut your buddy a discount because the nobleman gypped me. If you're looking for the spear, I'm sure somebody has that page opening and tell me how much it normally is. Because I definitely did not close.
Spear is 1 gold. Let's go.
I'll throw it all together for you for 10. We'll say.
All right. I'd be interested in purchasing.
And I'll also throw in some more weapon oil for you so you can take good care of it.
I'd much appreciate that.
Yeah, easy enough to do. He produces the items requested.
I pay him the 10 gold.
You can also tell your friend I'm not quite done with their harness. I'm still waiting on some leather to get cured.
Will do, sir. Appreciate the fine work.
That was Elrond wanted that climbing harness, right?
That was
Oh,
Anya.
that was Anya.
Anya, okay, cool. Alright, I thank him for his time, and I take my leave and head back to the tavern.
Sure. And as the two of you approach the tavern proper, you can hear the soft sounds of a lute, as well as kind of quiet, undertoned singing. Story, why don't you give me a performance check?
Big rolls, big rolls. Okay.
Aiming out pretty decent.
Adequate rolls.
My 3D dice aren't working. Or you have them disabled.
They should still be enabled. Let me double check to make sure.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
enabled.
That's weird. I wonder why my 3D dice aren't working.
I don't see any 3D dice.
You got a wooden shield, Wilder, and Bale got a steel shield.
All right, thank you.
Which
Wasn't
the
it a wooden
the
shield?
only difference between those two things is the weight, but we don't deal with
Gotcha.
weight here, so. It sounds pretty good as you guys approach the door, and as you step inside, you see Elron, kind of sitting there pleased with himself as he's staring at a necklace made of different shells that seem to softly glitter in the light of the fireplace. But you all are free to do what you wish.
As they enter, I greet them and gesture at their shields and say a little more defense might be a good thing for what we've encountered so far.
I nod and say, remember, that flamboyant enchanter fellow is probably going to be back at his wagon pretty soon. We might want to go out and wait for him. I say flamboyant with no maliciousness whatsoever.
We could also have ourselves a dinner if we're still hungry. I don't know. How long has it been since we ate?
It's been about an hour and a half.
Oh, jeez. I guess I'm just hungry. The food
Yeah,
isn't that good compared to rations.
I shake my head. Business first, food later.
Fine.
Yeah, I think should be about time. If got a few hours go by, we can go out and try to meet this
Yeah,
merchant.
I'll let the
see
barkeep
what he
know
has.
that I'll be back before, it gets to the busyness hours.
Sure, is there anything else you guys would like to do, or you would like to just pass time until...
I think we can just talk slightly about like what we've done, so we know like he went to what they talked about at the guard captains. Me and
Yeah,
Story just brought
just
up.
basically catch everyone up to speed so everyone knows like all the important stuff.
Chat, and then yeah, we'll head out to the merchant.
We're gonna go see Claudius.
You all, after waiting a decent period of time, you eventually see the sun slowly crest downward in the few windows that are inside the bar. A few of the patrons come and leave, listening to Story play her lute. But eventually, you feel like it's been enough time, and the group of you steps outside just as the elf named Claudius is talking with what appears to be one of the townspeople, a human male. And they seem to be talking about some stuff, and Claudius laughs heartily at what the guy said, but in the end, the guy, steps away from the cart and kind of walks away. You all kind of catch Claudius's eye as you step out. Ah, welcome back, friends. I have your cloak, beautifully procured, and next to him on a small little wooden stand is this beautiful stark white cloak with white fur that kind of curls around the edges of it, and as well the hood itself also has fur trim around the outside.
As we take it, I sort of look at him like extra like shrewdly, and I say, "Why would you do this for free?"
I have a feeling that you all will repay me in kind someday.
So we went at the story. I feel like that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I would agree. I'd say we give it the story.
Alright, so Bale, you want to just give it a story?
Yep.
Story can try it on.
I hand it over to Story immediately.
Yeah, I'll try it on.
And I
So yeah, as you kind of put it on, Claudius takes the little clasp, the little tiny metal clasp, and kind of like affixes it for you, which appears to be some sort of a metallic wolf, like head, right where the clasp is. And he kind of clasps it for you. Says, "Ah, it looks wonderful on you. Now, what I need you to do, dear, is I just need you to concentrate on this item and kind of pull it into your being for a little while to attune yourself to its properties.
All right, I'm gonna close my eyes and think really hard about the kilt.
And as the rest of you kind of like watch Story for a brief moment before you turn your attention back to Claudius, the coat seems to shrink a little and better fit her size. Now, it will take some time, dear, for it to fully be attuned to you. But what can I interest you, the rest of you? And I have wonders beyond your imaginations here in my cart. And he hits the side of the cart with his hand, and the cart kind of unspools itself, and you see jewelry and gemstones and different beautiful things, and you see weaponry kind of pop out from the top and slide down, all with this beautiful like bright violet velvet hidden like backlighting everything else, and everything seems to give off a shimmer or glow of some kind.
So I approach him and say, "You seem to be good with your enchants. Do you know of any that may be able to give you the ability to breathe underwater?" And kind of present my necklace that I've made that you may be able to enchant onto this neck.
He smiles at you when you present the necklace. Well, there are certain materials that are in the plane that we live in, this existence, that themselves have magical properties that an enchanter as myself can kind of pull forth from them. But it needs to be very specific things, and I need to know exactly what I'm working with. Now, if you're asking for something that would allow you to breathe underwater, there are certain arcane spells that different spellcasters might be able to cast on you ahead of time. I myself have this talent, although I do not have it prepared today, and I am afraid I am leaving in the morning. Unfortunately, this is a one-time deal, but I do have a selection of other things.
So I walk up to him and I say, how are you at identifying magical items?
Well, depends if what you bring me is magical. If it is, I'd be happy to do it for free.
I immediately pull out the mysterious bracers that we got from the Marrow.
He kind of draws this kind of geometric symbol in front of himself, and you see as there's faint white lines that linger there where his fingers are tracing the symbol, and then you watch as his eyes flash with this dull blue glow that eventually fades but kind of lingers there, just on like the edge of your vision, and he kind of glances them over. Well, I'm afraid those are not magical, my friend. They are made of a interesting material, but not magical themselves.
So, to the DM, will these do anything to me whatsoever, or are they just decorative, mate?
They're just they're a trophy.
Okay, cool. Well, I motion for Wilder, and I sort of like, the mace, make him identify the mace, and I sort of like say it under my breath.
I walk up to Claudius, kind of unfurling from my pack the mace. I'm like, what would you be able to tell me about this?
I can tell you a great many things about that particular object, as I sold it to myself.
I perk up. I'm like, do you happen to know Carl?
I cannot say I know the gentleman personally who I sold the mace to, but I believe it was... He pauses for a moment, thinking. I believe it was this town that I sold it, not too terribly long ago. I had a group of adventurers who seemed keen on gold more than items of mystical might. So I procured it from them. They had quite the story to go along with it.
Would you be able to regale me in this story?
Sure, absolutely. The group of adventurers was... he kind of waves his hand in the air for a moment, as if gesturing, like almost dramatically. They were traveling far off, deep within the frozen tundras of the north, near the dwarven capital. But far to the north from there, deep within the mountains, they said they found these ancient ruins with glowing runes that pulsed and glowed in different colors of light. And they said deep within the dungeon, after they had fought through tooth and nail to fight the various undead that claimed it, they managed to find this mace scattered amongst such a hoard of treasures. Well, that's the information that the mace came with.
I'm kind of leaning forward, listening intently to his story as he's making these grandiose gestures. I'm like, would you be able to tell me some of the properties of this mace? It seems to be much more than it actually appears.
Well, I can tell you the enchantment of said object. Now, what it is truly, I cannot say, although I will say its designs are interesting and very unique, not something I've ever seen before. It's obviously made by giants for us smaller folk, but the enchantment itself is, I would say, relatively simple enchantment. It is made to be more accurate and deal more damage to one's foe. It is a +1 mace.
Okay.
And I will update your item card.
Let's fucking go.
Huge.
That's fucking huge. And so I sort of say on the back of that, you say you're an enchanter by name, in more ways than one. What would it cost to enchant this? And I pull out the greatsword and I say, to make it as effective as the mace.
Well, like I mentioned before, certain things and certain metals and certain objects have power within them. And all enchanters do is bring forth that power into our reality to kind of bend and bind the enchantment. As beautiful as a weapon as that is, and it seems to have shown certain wear and tear, I unfortunately would need something different to work with.
I say fair enough. I pull out the shield. What about this?
Given enough time, I might be able to do something with that. It seems expertly crafted. Very high quality. Kind of
And
looks
what
it
would
over.
that cost?
Well, I am relatively busy, and unfortunately, I do not have a scroll prepared for your shield, so it would probably take me around 3 months to do a enchantment that would make it more resilient, nigh indestructible. Provided you had the gold to front, of course.
And what would that cost in gold?
He kind of looks you over and kind of taking you in for a long moment. I would say 500 gold for the full process, 200 up front.
I nod as if this is what I expected, and I say, thank you, but I have neither the funds nor the time. I expect to be needing the shield long before then.
I'm like still squinting and focusing, but I'm like, do you have anything that might be in our price range that would help us do any sort of underwater investigation?
Well, what is your price range exactly?
We're poor.
Define
I don't-
poor, because I've heard many an adventurers group call themselves poor.
We each have about 10 gold we could spend potentially.
Well, I don't have you anything that would allow you to breathe underwater. And he kind of turns and begins to go through the cart, and you see him kind of pulling out small, thin boxes and setting them aside, full of God knows what. And he's kind of looking around and pulling. He eventually pulls out a small, what appears to be like a canister. Like it's a metal canister with what appears to be like a bluish screw-on lid. He kind of pulls this out. But this, and he sets it down on one of the velvet pillows, is a very interesting salve that someone sold me a very long time ago, made of snow lilies. This would protect one from the harsh temperatures up here for about 8 hours. I would be willing to part with this for the measly sum of 50 gold. Of
But
course,
nothing-
there is more than enough salve here for all of you, should you need it. Except yourself, milady, as you are wearing one of my beautiful creations yourself.
But nothing that would let us actually breathe underwater or hold our breath for an extended amount of time.
He bows his head to you in apology. I'm sorry I was not ill prepared for today. Perhaps in a few weeks, if I make my rounds round the world, perhaps I'll be able to find something that would be able to help you.
While those three have been talking to him, since I went first, could I do investigation check and see what I found on his cart? Just kind of looking around.
Sure.
While he's investigating, can I ask him? You said you planned on heading out tomorrow morning.
Yes, my dragonborn friend, I do.
Is there any way I can persuade you to stay until this time tomorrow, until sunset tomorrow?
Well-
I may have some more work for you.
He pauses and gives you a gentle smile. Well, persuade me then, friend.
Yep. Just normal roll.
No, he literally says, persuade me then.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you...
There are certain items that we may be able to acquire that we will badly need identified, and they may be able to help with a problem which you, as you said, were unfortunately unable to accommodate on this particular occasion.
We may even be able to meet first thing in the morning before you leave. If
And
that's
we may
more
be
amiable.
able to help you replenish your stock before you move on to your next location, depending on what we find.
These are very tempting circumstances you lead me with. Unfortunately, I do have other business I need to attend to, other adventurers to trade with. However, he raises his hand up to quiet you before you even get to talk. However, you darling, and he looks down at Story. You can open your eyes. Just continue concentrating on the cloak.
Okay.
You show the talents of someone who is specialized in the arcane. Am I mistaken?
I'm getting there. There's still a lot to learn.
Provided that you have the components to be able to do as your friend asks, to be able to read the runes and be able to see what others cannot. You would be able to do so, correct?
Potentially.
He turns and smiles at Bale. Your friend is a lot more useful than you give her credit for. And he reaches back in his cart and he pulls out a black.
I look offended. I say,
Yeah.
How dare you? I have never had a bad word to say about Story.
And he reaches in his cart with a smile and pulls out a black velvet satchel, and he sets it down and he opens it up and he pulls out a maybe gumball sized black pearl, and says,
Ooh.
"I suppose this would be something that you would need in order to do that."
Oh, very much so. But I know such things are expensive.
He takes your hand and pulls it up so that your hand is open in front of him, and he sets down the pearl in it. And then he lets go. A gift for a friend. Perhaps one day you'll repay the favor.
Bale, I
I'm just
immediately
gonna have like
pull.
this look of shock on my face.
I immediately pull the marrowhead out of my pack. By the way, we found one of these.
Oh,
and
how ghastly.
We believe there are more where this one came from. I have heard stories, and I sort of look from one side to the other, like kind of theatrically. I say, I've heard they keep great treasures at their lairs, where they sort of suspend the bodies of their victims from strands of kelp. And I sort of like jiggle it a little bit. I'm just like, as I said, we may have more things for you the next time we meet, be that tomorrow or someday in the distant future.
We will meet again, my friend. I guarantee it. I like to keep an eye on my investments. And he turns and smiles again at Story. But if you're interested in the salve that will protect you from the elements, it's only 50 gold.
I really think I should
At
buy
At
that.
the,
Yeah,
at the mention,
And as you guys are kind of like, oh my god, that's like a lot of money, right? he
Yep.
kind of says, as a note, if you've happened upon any gemstones in your travel, I do pay a premium for them.
as he mentions the potion, I pull out the shining red potion that we acquired earlier, and I ask him, "Would you happen to know what the properties of this would be?"
Well, it's certainly magical. As he kind of glances over it, I'll be able to ascertain its properties in just a moment. He takes it, and he pulls out one of the pearls from the bag, the small little black bead, and he sets it on it. He puts it on his forehead for a moment. He closes his eyes, and he watches his eyes flash with a white light. And he says, "Yes, absolutely. What an interesting potion you found." And he kind of hands it back to you. That, my friends, is an elixir of health. Should you imbibe such a thing, it will cure any disease afflicting you, as well as anything that might be disabling you.
Would you be willing to make a trade?
Give me one moment. Before you decide that you want to trade it, let me update your item card.
Okay.
Yeah, remember we also have some gems that we could be
There you
able
go.
to like.
There's your
Yeah, I
item
got-
card.
Thank you very much.
I would say let's trade the gems to him first off, and if we have to pay like another 20 or
Alright.
30 gold, we can do that.
I would be happy to take it off of your hands. There's a nobleman in Guiding Light that might be able to use such a thing.
Can I make a history check of Guiding Light? I don't think we've heard that one. Before.
Sure, go ahead and make a history check.
Ho!
Well, you're not from there. You have heard of Guiding Light. It is in the country of all runes, far to the south. It is a temperate nation, and Guiding Light is its capital. It is also... You would also know, especially since you rolled so high, that Guiding Light is very famous for two reasons. One, it is known as the City of Rains, and as the city itself is built upon the side of a mountain, the rain kind of sweeps down and flows through the city and pools down into the rivers that flow out of Guiding Light. As well, you also know the city is famous for its emerald lighthouse that shines like a beacon throughout the sea.
Alright, cool. After him mentioning that, I kind of pull out the plethora of gems that we've acquired.
Oh, let me see.
Let me see.
Oh my, these are something, aren't they?
We've got bloodstones, moonstones, carmelians. Yeah, that's all I got.
Let me check your item list so I can give you an accurate read.
Because I know Austin had some, but he held on to those, I think.
Well, and he kind of separates them out into the different kinds. So he separates out the bloodstones, he separates out the carnelian and the moonstone on his mat, kind of creating like a little smiley face. Well, for these bloodstones, I'd be happy to give you 70 gold pieces for these 3. For the carnelian itself, I'll give you 25, and I'll give you 30 for the moonstone.
So 135 or 125, yeah.
I'll give you 150 if it's all in trade.
Well, the potion's the salve is 50. Is there anything worth 100 gold
I
that you might think
inquired.
would be suitable for our party? You've already
I
given me
inquired
so
if he
much.
has any weapons, or not weapons, but books or maps of use.
Unfortunately, I deal in mainly gems and mystical items.
I-
However, my friend, and he looks at you, Bale, I do have a very interesting thing that you might be interested in. And I'd say, for all of the gemstones, and I would give you the salve, I would also give you this. And he reaches and grabs a solid metal staff off of the back of it, off of a rack, off the very top of his cart. And he hands it to you.
I sort of like test its weight, swing it around a few times.
It's very well weighted, but it feels kind of warm in your hand. Now think of an axe.
I picture a two-handed battle axe.
And you picture it and you hold the staff as you would a battle axe. And you close your eyes and you reopen them and you're holding a battle axe.
Holy shit.
Now, while that weapon might not penetrate through a beast's hide like normal magical weapons, a mercurial weapon is a weapon made for a master of arms. It can be any weapon you so choose, should you spend some time to activate it.
I very much think we should give that to Bale.
However, I unfortunately cannot have it become any kind of ranged equivalent. It must remain in your hands, or else it will revert back to the staff.
So I nod and I say, what else do you have in the way of two-handed weapons? Do you have any mauls, any sort of speciality, or battle axes or great swords?
Well, I do have a great sword. And he kind of rummages through like the back of the cart. You can see him like picking up boxes and setting them aside. And he pulls up this big, large, like deep lacquered case, and he sets it down on the table. Please feel free to take a look.
I open it up. What do I see?
And as you open it up, you can see a kind of green hilt with blue gemstones imbued into the handle that kind of smooth over, as well as like a black leather wrapped around the handle. But the blade itself is crystal clear.
So like my eyes are like locked onto it, and I sort of motion my hand toward it, and I stop, and I look at it, and I say, "May I?"
Please, by all means.
I pick it up.
As you pick it up, if you were to describe your character as a color, your soul as a color, what color would that be?
Like a steely blue.
As you pick the blade up out of the box, the blade itself suddenly grows dark. You get this sudden, very dark shade of metal that kind of flows through the blade, and you see almost as if smoke is pouring off of it, in this kind of ethereal way. You see this steely blue mist around the blade.
My eyes are like locked on the blade, and like you can see, it's like almost reverent, the look, and I say, but I say in like a calm, normal tone of voice, I say, this feels very expensive.
Don't believe me, my friend, it is.
I don't suppose you would take this in trade for the gemstones the way you would the staff.
Well, provided that you have the funds the next time we meet, this blade itself would be about 2,000 gold pieces.
I put it back hurriedly, and I turn. I say, I have to confer with my colleagues.
I see, my friend. Of course. And he takes it and he closes the box and he sets it back where he found it.
I sort of pull everyone together in a huddle. What do you guys think? This seems like an outrageous amount of money for us right now.
Yeah, the stick seems cool.
I think you should take the staff, and maybe if we cover, run into this man later in our journey.
I also have healing potions. Should you be interested instead of the staff?
The I guess I could turn it into a maul. A greatsword is a really, really good weapon.
Well, you got a shield though, dude. You can't use a two-hand weapon and a shield.
You're right. I could always turn the staff into like a long sword or like a
Healing
warhammer.
potions are very uncommon in this area too.
Yeah, and we might be able to get a bunch in trade. I don't think I necessarily need the staff.
Well,
if I really need to
how
do,
close we were to losing story, healing potions might not be a bad idea.
I think that's probably going to be the safest bet. And like
We already
I'll
have one healing, or kind of healing potion.
just
Well,
hope.
and can he hear us right now?
We're very whispery right now.
Like, 'cause
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
He can fucking hear us. He can definitely hear us. Elron, yeah, you do a perception check. Nine.
You look over, you glance over as Bale says, "Can he hear us?" And you just see him like he's looking away from you with a big smile on his face, just lightly chuckling to himself.
It's like, guys, I really want this sword, but it's completely out of our price range right now.
The potions seem like a really smart
we're
investment.
gonna need healing potions. I'll try to get him to see if he'll hold on to the sword for a while, but I doubt he will. But
That is a lot of
well,
money. I don't know who else he's
yes,
gonna sell it to
yeah,
right
the-
away.
he,
probably
heal-
not going to be a very hot item for him to sell. It'd be
healing
rough.
potions are definitely the priority. All right, so
Alright.
I turn back to him. I say, unfortunately, as you know, we are very poor adventurers, and that sword's a bit out of our price range for now. I'll be very interested if we run into you down the road and funds are more readily available.
Well, if you'd like, I can hold on to it for you for a little while at least. There's been a lot of interest around the blade, but you seem like a good sort. There were healing
I say
potions
that would be
then.
lovely. We were looking to trade for healing potions rather than the
As many as
staff.
we can get for the gems and healing potions plus the salve. essentially.
I think we can come to some sort of agreement. Normally, healing potions are around 50 gold each, depending on where you find them. However, if you agree to give me the gemstones themselves, I will give you both the salve as well as 3 potions of healing. You won't find a better deal.
about how much for an extra healing potion? How much would we have to offer in gold along with the gemstones and trade?
You seem like the good sort. I would say 40 gold for another healing potion.
Oh yeah, I say we take the deal
The 3
without.
and the salve.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
salve and 3 healing potions. So that would give all of us 1 because we already have 1.
Yep.
We have a elixir of, what was it called?
Healing. It's
Well,
different than a
and
healing potion.
Correct.
Since
Elixir
you
of
said
health.
the salve was enough for all of us, but really we only need it for me and Wilder. Does that mean me and Wilder?
No,
It
I'll
is-
need it. You remember, I'm only resistant against cold, so
Okay.
I'll still be taking
Oh,
tick
yeah.
for
So
cold.
it's
As-
just storage.
As a note, the salve has 4 uses, should you choose to buy it.
And
Cool.
Story doesn't need it, right? Did we give her
Potentially.
an item card for her
Story
magical item?
potentially would need.
Well, we should know exactly what the cloak is, right? If it was a gift. Does it give us
I
cold
mean,
When she attunes to it, she will know what it does. I do not have an item card for it right now.
It
Okay,
takes a
fair.
while.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah, 4 doses. That's fine. Yeah.
I would
We
be
each have a
fine
healing potion.
doing that deal as long as you guys are.
Yeah, I say we go for it.
Yep. Deal.
Let me see. I'm gonna move this to magical item reference. Okay, you guys now have a reference for healing potions.
Awesome.
2d4 plus 2. Okay, that's about as good as we can hope for. That's really solid.
Well,
So I'm gonna remove the.
3 healing potions. You can decide amongst yourselves who will hold on to them.
Probably just all take one, because, except Wilder. Cause he
Yes,
has-
and mark off all the gems, and then one of you write down ice salve.
I'll carry that.
Okay. I
Okay.
remove the gems.
And the ice salve has 4 uses. Again, I do not have an item card. I forgot to do item cards.
That's fine.
That's cool. Okay, so
So after making this deal with Claudius, I inquire about his travels around the world and if he's noticed any what is it? He's noticed any sights or tales of dragons coming back to Arcadia.
Oh, I've heard many a tale. I was around when they first reemerged. I managed to help out a small group of adventurers that took care of some of the larger, more bigger threats of them. But what would you like to know?
Do you happen to know of the resurgence of where they've been coming from? Since this land has been barren of dragons for some
And-
time.
I
And-
sort of cut in with like a really bright, happy look on my face. I say, "Any silvers?"
Oh, of course. I've seen many silver dragons. But the silver ones are usually of the more friendly variety. It's the more chromatic ones you need to stand out for over the metallic ones. Should you find yourself face to face with a dragon of red, green, blue, white, you might want to turn around and walk the other way, as well as green. But should you find one with shiny scales, those would be trustworthy folk, such
So,
as yourself.
I add again that I know he's leaving at dawn tomorrow. I say if we do find anything before then that you might be able to help us out with, where would I find you?
I'll be right here, standing at my cart.
Until like through the night until tomorrow?
Of course. What kind of
Alright.
merchant would I be if I wasn't available for people to peruse my goods?
I sort of give him a look like, okay, man, and I say thank you so much for all your help and your time. Have a pleasant evening.
Absolutely. You all do take care.
Before we leave, I ask him, do you have any other merchant friends that we'd be able to interact with after meeting such a great salesman as yourself?
He kind of wiggles a finger at you. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to disclose my contacts. However, we will meet again. I'm sure of it.
Would you be willing to give us a letter of recommendation in case we happen to meet one of your contacts?
Perhaps if we did business more in the future. I'll be at Fellflame Hold for the next few weeks, and then from there I'm headed to the Dwarven capital. So should we meet again and you perhaps purchase some of my finer goods, I might be interested in writing you something.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
So I rub my hands together and I say, "Okay, we've got to start."
Good luck, my friends.
Um, I sort of motion back toward the inn and start walking towards it.
I'll follow suit.
As they leave, I kind of reapproach him and ask in Elvish if he's heard anything about a Luna around this area, and any sightings or rumors he may have heard.
Luna's grace fills us all with her warming light. What do you need to know about the goddess, if I might ask?
I tell him about my experience yesterday meeting the woman at the inn, and the bow and the test she gave me, and then returning today with no sign of her, and no memory by any of the townsfolk of her being, and inquire that it's probably something of magical sort. But I keep the dream to myself for now.
He thinks for a long moment. Perhaps it was a test by the goddess herself. Perhaps you were meant for great things. That'd be my guess, at the very least.
Has he heard of anything like this happening before in his travels?
I've heard of strange occurrences that have to deal with the gods themselves, but nothing like this I can't quite put my finger on. It's certainly strange. Perhaps you should keep an eye out for this woman in your travels in the future. Perhaps she is more than she seems.
I thank him and I go back to the inn with the rest.
He gives you a small bow, and then you can hear him in the distance as you step back into the inn itself. Him address someone. Ah, hello, welcome.
All right. So I motion everyone to sort of sit around the table, and I sort of start going over the plan I've been turning over in my head.
So
Hush
first off,
tones. Very sneaky.
Yeah, very sneaky.
Loud. Not loud.
Super sneaky.
who do we want to hand the healing potions to?
I see
We
the three
each
of
get
you.
one except for you. You already have the one we found.
Story.
Gotcha.
Try fail. That is not a healing potion. That is a potion, elixir of healing.
Elixir of healing, you're right.
It will not heal any damage or
Oh,
what's
yeah.
Okay.
like that.
Let me change the name of this item. I forgot it's still Shining Red Potion. That is an elixir of health.
Elixir of health. That's right.
Okay.
With tiny bubbles.
I would recommend you each take one in case I can't reach you, and if I need aid, I could heal myself, or you may be able to administer aid to me.
Yeah, if you get. Yep. Okay. Cool.
That works.
I say okay. So we still need a way to breathe underwater if we're gonna have any hope of rooting out the marrow. But the guard captain said he thought when I asked him for any extra help, he said that the owner of the mine has a bunch of special potions that he keeps in his office. He also said that they would likely not take notice of us heading up to the mines if we went up there to partake in the fights. So I think the plan is we go. I'm gonna have to fight in the pit, and I sort of grimace as it's something that I like a few years back like bought my way out of, and it's not something I'm eager to go back to. I fight, and meanwhile, the sneakiest of our number, and I kind of like jerk my head at Elron, goes into his office and sees if he can get all of the potions, or as many as he can carry. What do you guys think?
It seems like a good story.
It sounds
I test the
dangerous,
Wilder.
but
I ask if he thinks he might be up to joining Bale.
A fist fight, but definitely could be some moral support for you.
Just
I
Bale.
nod. Sweet. I immediately go up and walk to the bartender, and I ask him, "What is the absolute strongest stuff you have?"
I'll get you some, my friend. He turns around and opens up he taps a small little keg, Pours you a shot out of it and then reseals it.
I say, no, dude, you don't understand. Like, I need like a good amount of this stuff.
All right. He takes the shot and he pours it into a ceramic jug and takes the ceramic jug and fills it up about halfway and sets it in front of you.
I say, is there any way, like, you have like a skin or like a lid for that jug that I could take with me?
Sure, I can definitely do something for you. He takes
well,
that little earthware jug and he like sets it off to the side. He reaches under the counter and pulls off one with like a tankard lid, and he pours that in and closes the lid, latches it, hands it to you.
All right. I ask him how much that would cost.
It's on the house. Your friend did me a spot today. Got me some good customers in.
Oh, lovely. I clap him on the shoulder and say, thank you very much, sir.
Of course.
I go over, I hand it to Elron. I say, this is for later. Don't drink it till the fat lady sings. I give him like a big theatrical wink for the benefit of anyone watching.
So, am I going to the pit or am I following Elrond? I don't know if I'm good at either of these things.
I think, Thor, you should go and literally go full Knight's Tale for Bale and be his like announcer.
Yeah, you'd be like the Paul Bettany to my Heath Ledger. That could work out really well.
Oh,
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Wilder will be the corner man.
I've
fixing him
never
up
read
and
this
shit,
book,
doing medical
but I
checks
can
when he's
try.
upset.
Yeah, okay. So I would say we wait here until and then I
this
probably
book
go
it just sailed over everyone's head. That was really good.
No,
Like 10 out of
I
10.
totally caught it. That was a solid joke. I walk back up to the bartender and I say, you mentioned something about some sordid affairs going on up at the mines after dark. About what time would those begin, usually?
Give about half an hour. There'll be some people there.
No, thank you again.
Just let him know that Kenneth says hello.
All right, I will do that. And then before I go, I sort of like goes inside and I say, what would be the general rules of the engagements at this event?
He kind of bends down and makes sure no one's listening. No weapons. Don't kill the guy. Generally what happens. They take bets over there. You're betting kind of man.
No weapons, and I sort of give him a meaningful look, and I like sort of breathe a little bit of frost into my hand, like wiggle my fingers at him. I said, would that be considered a weapon?
Be unsportsmanlike, I'd say.
I sort of like, raise an eyebrow and kind of shake my head from side to side like I'm considering something. I say, okay, thank you for everything.
I'll let you know. If you decide to fight dirty, they will too.
And I flip him a silver piece.
He catches it in the air. All right. You have fun tonight.
I walk up to Bale as he's coming from the barkeep, and I kind of pull him into the corner. I'm like, hey man, are you sure you want to do this?
I was like, I say, want to? Absolutely not. But I really don't see another option here. He's like, and I say, like, I'm gonna need to make like a little bit of a spectacle if we want this to work out properly.
As he's saying that, I'm like, okay, just in case, I'll have some goodies lined up for us if we have to make a quick getaway. As I flash him the fire crystals that I had in my bag, you kind of tuck them away.
Okay, so as an aside to the GM, where would be like a city where Bale would have fought? Like it would be like a large city where like slavery was like tolerated.
Marku, the capital of Malia.
Marku, okay.
Has he won any titles in his gladiatorial days?
Oh, shit, you're from Mark, you too?
We need material for story to go full Knight's Tale on this.
I've never read that
No,
book.
she can just make it up like Paul Bettany. That's cool.
Wait, have you seen the movie with Heath Ledger?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Story's never...
Well, assuming that Bale won his freedom, which is my understanding of your character's backstory, which I won't go into super detail for the rest of the crew. But yeah, you were pretty fearsome in the arena.
First rule. Wilder. Okay. All right, so I think we have a solid plan. If anyone has anything to add, now would probably be the time.
I'd like to give 20 gold to Wilder of mine to bet on Bale.
Wait, what?
I want to give you 20 of my gold to bet on Bale fighting.
Okay, here we go.
All right, I add 20 gold to my my character sheet?
Oh, I need to pay Wilder for the money he gave to the tanner. I'll give him 5 gold.
Because I'm not
Okay,
gonna be
5
there.
gold.
I'm gonna be being sneaky and stealing things.
Yeah, remember you gave him 10, so I'm gonna give you 5 just
Yeah,
right
that's
now
fine.
because I had a bunch of gold lying around, so it's not a big deal.
Alright.
All right.
So then, while they go directly into the mines of the pits, I kind of.
Oh wait.
We're not
Before
there yet.
yeah, before we go, we're still at the tavern. I talk like as quietly as I can to Elron, and I say, so here's the deal. If you get caught, pour some of the liquor on yourself, and make sure you really just like smell like liquor, and tell them and like act drunk and tell them that you're lost and you were looking for a place to take a piss.
I agree.
As a note, Bale, you and Wilder would be aware because you talked to the guard captain. The office that said objects are in is next to the arena, like inside the mines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just
that's
so
what I
you're like aware of what's going on here.
It's in the actual mine. It's like in
Yeah.
the complex. Okay, cool. Thank you.
So I probably have to go with them until the fight starts.
Yeah. You want to
Sleep
wait till
away.
shit gets crazy until
Yeah,
like
like,
Mech is
sleep
doing her
away.
thing, and then I start I start laying about. Okay, cool. All right. I would say we wait like a
Before-
half an hour or so. Yeah. Sorry.
Before
Go
we
ahead.
leave the bar, I asked the bartender what'll set our room fee for tonight.
Well, your friend already got it covered over there. And he kind of nods over at Story. She's got you covered.
And then I asked him for what's the most flammable liquid you got here.
Hmm.
Oh my lord.
He kind of like looks you up. Give me a persuasion check.
Wilder.
Yeah. No shit. It's like what do you want to light on fire,
You should've
motherfucker?
Just ask for liquor. You know it's flammable. Goddamn.
Jesus Christ.
Didn't even try and be like,
Persuade.
yo.
Like,
I
hey,
want
listen, we roll with it. We roll. The Jesus rolls.
And what exactly do you want this for?
Do I hear? Am I overhearing this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna step up.
No, you would not, because you guys are kind of like being like secret squirrel about this. I would give me a perception check. Their Story. You do not hear it.
Oh my lord.
Can I see if I hear it?
With your passive perception, Elron, you hear this conversation taking place.
Oh my good
So,
Jesus.
Because it's Wilder for shits, all I do is put my hand on my forehead when he says that.
Okay, great. You do see Elron facepalm, though. Story. To be fair. So what exactly do you need this for?
In case my friend Bale does a little bit too well in the fights tonight, I might need a couple tricks up my sleeve.
Kind of raises an eyebrow at you. I think you better not, son. There's gonna be a lot of people down there.
And I kind of mentioned to him, I'm like, yeah, and I kind of want to keep him down there too.
Well, I'm afraid I can't help you unless you're looking to buy some lamp oil, but even then, it's not going to burn for long. But you're better off going to the general store if you want oil. Don't have a whole lot on the premises.
All right, I appreciate that. I kind of mopedly walk back to the table.
He kind of eyes you as you walk away, very suspicious of you now.
I look back over the group, I'm like, all right, I'm all set.
All right.
Okay.
Did I hear him asking for flammables?
Nope.
Probably not. Yeah, my passive
Nope.
perception blows.
So, Bale,
Alright.
it's cool that I know, like, you fought in Marikyu and you won your freedom, right? Because I'm trying to work over this speech in my head.
Yeah, sure. I'll let her know that this is where I'm from and where I won my freedom.
You're from Marikyu too?
You give her some highlights.
Yeah, I say, not originally. I'm not sure where exactly I'm from originally. I was stolen from my clan when I was a hatchling. and sold directly into the arena. They raised me there.
Oh, um, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
You did travel around a lot, but that's where you ended up with your freedom, was in Mark.
Yeah. I sort of shrug and I say it's the way of the world.
It is sometimes.
Is there a specific title, or just be like Champion of Marikyu, as far as like gladiatorial shit?
So there really were no titles given to slaves.
Or just be like the Champion of Marikyu?
The ones who weren't slaves that fought in the arenas were given titles, but not the slaves.
Check of some of the greatest gladiatorial fighters. Is that a thing?
You can make a history check with disadvantage. No, you're from Malia, so yeah, make a history check.
Let's go.
Fighters. I mean, you're not really the kind of person that would want to like go watch these things, but like you've heard of some like like you've heard of the Eviscerator, the Blind Champion, the Savage Carver. Like it's all like, you know, fancily sounding dangerous
Yes.
names that people are given.
All right, cool. Appreciate that.
Like the honed blade and things like that.
I'm trying to pep talk Bale as he's getting ready to do all this. I'm like, all right, we gotta come up with a good stage name for you, my friend.
The Fist of the South Star.
I'm thinking Bale of the Frozen Blood.
I like it.
They're both good options.
I think the frost aspect is necessary since he's a frost dragon.
Yeah. I'll do some theatrics when you're announcing me. I'll breathe some frost up on the ceiling or something. See if I can make some icicles.
So what's the plan, gang?
We wait like a half hour or so and we head on up.
Is
All
the
right.
general store still open?
By this time, no, the general store is closed.
No, no
You don't need to
arson.
light things on fire while they're goddamn it.
Well, I'm trying to think like it's after dusk.
No, that's
So,
fine.
yeah.
I mean, if Elrond wanted to ask Wilder what he wants to do with the flaming shit, since he heard it, now would probably be a good time.
I would say as you look around the center square, like the statue in the center with its hand held up, looking around, the only place that seems like it's open is the forge. And like as you're walking past it to go towards the mines, near the northern edge of town, you do see that it's closed. You can just see light on inside. Like maybe he's still working on something, but everywhere else seems pretty dark.
All right, we head off to the mines.
All right.
As you head off to the area that you all identified earlier in your excursions through the town, a story, oddly enough, leads you, because her and Wilder explored the town a bit before you all got here. You make your way towards the mines, and you pass by the large warehouse-like building directly outside, and you head towards what appears to be some sort of a cavern entrance. Very clearly chiseled into the rock, and you can see what appears to be some sort of slatted fence in front of it that goes from the floor all the way up to the roof of the cavern, as well as two large double doors that are both closed.
I give like a knock on the door, like a special one, like duck, 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 like a special knock.
After a few moments, a previously unseen in the darkness little slat opens, and you can see someone peering out from within. You can see kind of torchlight crackling on the inside. Yeah, can I help you?
I heard there was a bit of a game going on tonight. And I sort of look at him and kind of like roll my shoulders a little bit and try to look bigger. I say, I'm here to play.
Can't say I know what you're talking about, friend. Sorry. And he goes and closes the slat.
Well, shit.
Can I go up and knock again?
He said, say that this person sent you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yep. Let's knock again.
The slat reopens.
What was the dude's name?
Can I help you? What?
What was
Fuck,
the
I
barkeeper's
think it
name?
was Kenneth. I think it was Kenneth.
Kenneth?
Yes, it's Kenneth.
I flash a silver at him and say, Kenneth sent us your way.
You watch the slat close. It doesn't say anything. The door. You hear a latch unlatch, and the door opens. Come on in.
And I kind of like flick the silver coin at him and thanks as we walk in.
He catches it.
All right.
You guys enter into a relatively warmly lit interior. You can see what appears to be a makeshift bar with barrels set up, several people sitting and drinking. Beyond the bar itself, you see another set of double doors, almost as though this is like an antechamber in the mines proper. The doorman, who is not by the door when you guys step inside, there you go, says, if you're looking to play, it's in the back. You can make your bets with the bartender if you're planning on doing anything. If you're looking to enter, same guy. But come on in.
Alrighty.
And go take a seat in the back for now, while they go up to the bar.
Sure, he closes the door behind you guys.
I was gonna sort of follow Bale's lead.
All right. I walk up to the front. I sort of motion Wilder and I point at his coin purse. I talk to the bartender. I said, here to make an entry, preferably, perhaps a little bit later in the night, maybe around midway through when the crowd's the biggest.
He kind of looks you up and down. Well, all right. You look capable. I assume that's you and not the girl who's looking to enter.
I'm gonna shake my head. No. I'm just here as the hype.
I say you would be absolutely correct.
He smiles, and you notice he's missing a few teeth in the front of his mouth. Yeah, if you're looking to enter, you get paid out 10% of all the bets. That's just the house's thing. That's if you win all your fights. Which, since you're new, it'll be 2 fights. You win 10% of whatever's bet on you and your opponent. And I take it your friends are here to support you, putting a little gold down on your behalf. And he kind of looks over at Wilder.
I smirk, put my hand on my friend, and I said, "You're damn right." And I plunk a bag of 20 gold pieces down.
All right.
I'm all on him.
He sits and he sits there and he counts it pretty visibly, so you see he's not like stuffing the coin somewhere. All right, 20 gold. Payouts 30 if your friend wins. If he doesn't, I keep it all. Other than the 10%, of course. And he kind of nods toward you, Bale.
Yep.
He does need to win both of his fights in order to get this. Don't worry, we'll patch you up in between. You'll be all right.
I nod. I say, sounds pretty standard. And I go over to the corner where Elron is. Actually, you know what?
You hear from behind the 2 double doors. You hear ooh, like a bunch of people, like all in succession.
Turn around.
Sounds like it's going pretty good.
Like a perception or investigation check to see. So I'm just hanging out in the back. Any like path to go anywhere else from this room, or if I have to go into the fight arena.
You would need to step into the next appears like an ancient chamber in the mines. Like this would be like a break room for the miners, so they'd be closer to the fresh air, but not outside in the elements.
Okay.
We were told that like the office is going to be next to the fighting pit, or like in proximity to it.
Yeah, somewhere in the complex.
So you're gonna have to like come in further with us.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna wait until like it's started and the crowd's going nuts and stuff before I swing off.
I go to a corner and I sort of start like stretching out and just like doing like preliminary stretches, like stretching out my shoulders, like pretty much like my whole body, like doing lumbar stretches, everything.
When you're ready to go watch, there's a couple of bouts before your time to shine. I'm gonna go let some people know that you're joining us. By the way, we got some ground rules here. I don't know how they do it where you're from, but just to make sure that we're on the same page.
I nod and I tell him to go ahead.
No weapons, no tricks, no dirty fighting. If you fight dirty, the crowd will fight dirty with you against you. Make sense?
I nod. I say, all right.
You beat the shit out of the other guy, You knock him out. Don't kill him.
I nod my head again. I say, of course.
Anything else is up to you. You get your ass kicked. Well, we'll patch you up, but your friend's gold's forfeit.
I nod. I say, okay. I walk back over to Wilder. I lean into Wilder. I say, okay, so 30 gold payout for a 20 gold bet. Either that means they're taking the house is taking a hefty cut, which I wouldn't put it past them, or that means that I'm a favorite, which is good news for us.
I look over to him like, you got this, buddy. And as trying to pump him up, kind of like jumping him like, you got this, kind of punch him in the shoulder. I'm like, yeah.
You hear another ooh, and then a cheer coming from behind where the guy is standing. But he watches you for a little bit, and then disappears back into the back room.
All right.
Go back with there as well.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah,
I'd say we go check out the competition, see what they're like.
Yep, I'd say let's go in.
Yeah, I'll go in.
All right. So as you all step through the large double doors, there appears to be a ring kind of pulled forward, what appears to be straw matting along the floor, bits of rope that are holding the ring together. Just kind of a cobbled, very quickly, easy to tear down kind of setup. And glancing around the room, Elron, you see there are 3 doors, one on each of the cardinal directions, excluding the one you came through. So there's one to the north, one to the east, and one to the west. Above each door, there is a phrase written in Dwarven.
Shit.
But as you step inside the room proper, you watch as 2 men are just slugging it out in the arena. And one of them just gut punches the other one, and there's an ooh from the audience as the guy just doubles over and collapses onto the ground.
Can I do a perception or check on the 2 dwarves that are currently in here watching at like their state of mind? Like how drunk are they? How focused are they?
Sure, give me an insight check.
Insight check, alright.
As you kind of like glance them over as you kind of walk around and make your way into the crowd. There's more people here. I just didn't want to fill the entire thing with tokens. With a 15, the one that's closest to you is pretty inebriated. Both appear to be minors. The other one seems to not be quite as inebriated, although it looks like a lot of these people have been drinking.
Okay.
Another victory for the Crusher!
I lean over to Wilder. I say, I point at the one who, or no, I wouldn't know who's inebriated. So I sort of point over at the guards and I whisper to him, when the time comes, see if you can distract these guys when Elron goes to do his work.
Are you pointing the guys directly above us or to the right?
To the right, the guards.
Can you
pointing
ping who you're pointing to?
This guy. and this
Okay.
guy.
No, those are the dwarves, right?
Yeah, those dwarves. The only person here that appears to be wearing armor is this individual here, this lady, and she just seems to be keeping the peace.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask the barkeep how long until my friend fights.
Well, he'll be right after this bout, and provided he's ready. If not, we got a couple more people we can throw in.
Oh, I think he'll be ready. And I'm gonna run over to Elron and be like, "You're super sneaky. You're super good at this. I believe in you." And I'm gonna give him bardic inspiration.
The fight itself, if any of you care, between the 2 individuals a step in the ring is pretty evenly matched. They beat the ever-living shit out of each other for a while. Blood flies. At one point, one of the guys probably loses a tooth as the other guy removes his fist back, and the other guy's mouth is just gushing blood. But eventually, the one who got his face knocked in knocks the other guy cold out and collapses onto the ground. It takes about 5 or so minutes, if there's anything you guys want to do in between.
While they're doing that, I walk over to the dwarf that looks a little inebriated and kind of strike up conversation and say, "Hey friend, I'm just a bit curious. What do those runes above those doors mean?"
You don't read Dwarven, do you?
Nah, not one of the languages I've picked up in my travels. I'd love to one day, but
He kind of like half like has to steady himself on you as you're talking. He points to the one to the east and says, "That one says to the eastern copper mines." And he points out the one in the north. "That one's admin," and he points to the one over the west. "And there's the crystal mines. That's be what the mysterious dwarf runes say, my friend."
I said, I appreciate it, and I throw him 5 copper. So your next beer's on me.
Ah, much appreciated, friend, much appreciated. Be happy to give you a lecture on more dwarven culture if you like.
So maybe if we run into each other in town, I'll take you up on that offer.
Aye. Ah! Beat the shit out of him! He completely ignores you and goes back to watching the fight.
I kind of sneak my way through the crowd till I'm more towards the north end.
Sure.
Well, while he's doing that, I take out a piece of paper from my bag and I start writing in draconic bail, like in kind of like big boldish letters.
I sort of look at him curiously, but I'd say nothing.
I'm gonna like try and look Bale in the eyes, but he's way taller than me, so I'm just looking up at him, and I'm like, okay, I know you don't want to do this, and this is kind of scary, but I believe in you, and you can do this, and I'm gonna give him another bardic inspiration.
Okay.
What is that a D4?
Okay, so when you roll a d20, you can roll a d6 and add that to the roll.
D6. Okay, cool. Thank you.
But you have 10 minutes to use that. Elrond only has 5 now, I believe.
Okay, so I look around the room. Is it like full? How full is this room?
It's pretty full. There, if like kind of counting heads, you're guessing maybe about 30 people in here.
Okay, cool. That's good enough. I turn to the lady in armor. I say, if you're the one in charge here, I'm ready to fight whenever you're ready to have me.
Step in.
All right, I step in.
Clyde. One of the what appears to be a mine worker kind of like doffs his shirt, and you can see he's pretty built. He looks to be a pretty strong guy.
I was gonna start up and strung my and be like, hailing from the sands of Maricu, he fought for his freedom and won it. Bale of the frozen blood, and I'm just gonna like end with a little flourish.
And I sort of lean back, point my head up to the sky, and let a jet of frost breath up into the air.
Give me an intimidation check.
All right. With advantage?
Yeah, definitely with
Alrighty.
advantage.
Intimidate. I'm good at intimidation. Let's go.
All right, I have made a note.
All right.
While that spectacle is going on, can I? How drawn is the attention of the crowd right now?
Every single person in the entire crowd's eyes are locked on Bale right now.
So I'm gonna take this opportunity and try to sneak out the north door.
All right, go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage.
Come on, brother. Okay.
For everyone else, Bale's just Bale is the center of attention here. You don't even notice Elrond disappear into the shadows and vanish behind the door. Elrond, I'll get back to you in a moment. Bale, roll initiative.
Alrighty. Normal. Okay, natural 20.
Right. Anyone else who has things they might want to do during the combat may also roll initiative.
Here we
would that
go.
include me, or is that just story and Wilder?
That's just story and Wilder. I'll get back to you based on how long this takes.
Let's go, Mac. That's a solid roll.
I'm gonna. You said things during the combat,
If-
so it only be the.
Yeah. No, go ahead and roll initiative, Wilder. And if you'd like to do something, just let me know. And then the next time it gets down to where it would be your turn, I'll let you take your turn.
Yeah, I don't see why it would have to be like cheating or anything. Like you could just hold up your sign and start hyping the crowd more.
That's
Alright.
what I was gonna do.
Cool.
We're so good at hype.
Story. Okay. Bale, this guy looks piss scared. And the woman in armor raises her hand and says, "Fight!" And the whole fucking crowd cheers. It's on you, man.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to go into a rage. I'm going to sort of like shuffle up toward him, kind of like I don't want to run at him because I don't want to get caught and get knocked out. But I sort of like shuffle up towards him and I throw a jab.
Give me
So
give me
yeah.
a second.
Yeah, how do I roll an armed attack?
I'm gonna make a thing for you.
All right, cool. Did I say I fly into a range?
Oh my god, you're so fucking strong.
Alright.
Okay, yeah.
Don't
Alright.
kill the guy.
You have an advantage on your first strike, and you now should have an unarmed strike button.
Yep, I got it. Alright, I'm in a rage and I attack. Alright. 4.
So if you could flavor this attack, what would you do as you rush at the guy?
Oh my god.
You're not gonna kill him in one hit, but I'm interested what you would do.
Okay, I sort of feint a jab at him, and I throw like a right to the solar plexus, like right to, where it would knock the wind out of him.
Yeah, okay. You bash him in the chest, and you do knock the wind out of him. With that quick feint, he was ready to dodge the first one, but not the second one. And you bash him so hard, you slam him into the ropes and cause him to kind of sag over it for a moment. I'm gonna make him stunned because you rolled a friggin' 19. So I'm gonna pass his turn, and the whole crowd is fucking cheering at you. Bail, bail, bail. You can hear this from the hallway as you press down, Elron.
So did it add the +3 there? I don't think it added the +3.
It did. It did.
Oh wait, it did.
Yeah. And an unarmed strike gets 1 plus your strength modifier in damage. So
Okay,
you
gotcha,
did 6 points of damage to this poor guy.
But did it? Okay. Oh,
He's-
okay. Oh yeah, I see. It
he's-
added- okay, 2 + 4. Gotcha.
He's looking pretty rough.
Okay, cool.
You should
That-
just go like toss him out of the ring.
I mean, now that he's bent over like that and he's stunned, I'm just gonna I'm gonna hit him like right on the point of the chin and try to just put him down clean.
All right, go ahead and make your attack. He is stunned, so go ahead and to make it with advantage. Like he was piss scared.
That's
Yeah.
19. That's another 6.
Just after you bash him, he like kind of manages to pull himself up off the rope, and you just like uppercut him and just send him over the rope and into the crowd, and he is
Oh
just
my
out fucking
God.
cold.
I
The whole
immediately
fucking
turn to
crowd
the
just
crowd.
fucking erupts.
I immediately turn to the crowd and like raise my arms like wide to each side over my head and just kind of like look around, turn each way, and just kind of like take it in.
Where are you at Maiden?
Where you at on Maiden now?
All right, your rage fades because you're out of combat for a turn, and the announcer kind of looks shocked, like the woman looks shocked, and she says, "All right, bail!" And the whole fucking crowd cheers. There's fucking slosh drinks everywhere. You're like the fucking heart of the fucking town right now.
All right, I go
You're
back
like,
to.
Veil of the frozen blood.
You
Alright,
like
I go back to my corner and I ask Wilder to toss me my water skin.
I'm like rubbing his shoulders, wiping the sweat down from his face. I'm like, you got him. Like, giving him his water.
Yeah, it got like the towel.
Yeah.
all right, Jonathan. And she kind of raises her hand, and one of the people who you recognize from the bar that you drank under the table the other day starts to step forward. And then the guy who was fighting before you walked in raises his hand and says, "No! I want a piece of this guy."
All right, now we're talking.
This guy steps into the ring.
Let's go.
All right. Joshua versus Bale. For anyone who's betting, bets are closed.
All right.
That's after like a few minutes. You get some time to like recuperate.
Yeah, I like take a sip of water, slosh it around in my mouth, and then spit most of it out.
The guy kind of like cracks his neck a little bit, and then he raises his hands up in kind of an odd way that you're not quite used to, and he seems to be bracing himself.
He knows kung fu. Does he know kung fu?
You know kung fu.
Go ahead and roll initiative.
Go for
All right.
WrestleMania.
This will be normal without advantage, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
7. Not great. Oh, you rolled an 8. Oh my god. Rip.
I rolled a 1.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Wilder, you might be able to give him hype if you roll high.
Yeah.
Oh, you were way more hyped the
Holy
first round.
shit. It's all good.
We came on strong, just a little. Too
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a hit here. It's okay. Without rage.
He has the first turn.
Mm-hmm.
And what he does is he kind of settles himself and gets kind of lower down in the ring. And he's got both hands. He's got one hand forward and one hand back, and he's just waiting for you. That's what he does with his turn.
Okay. Okay, so he activated defense or whatever. Okay, cool. All right. So my turn now.
Yep.
Okay. So I fly into my second and final rage. So I
Okay.
have a long rest. It's either a short rest or a long rest. And again, I sidle up to him like carefully, and I throw another jab.
All right. You triggered his readied action,
All right.
which is he's going to attack you whenever you got close.
Mm-hmm.
He misses as he wasn't expecting you to go so
yeah.
fast. So he takes a quick jab at you and misses. But go ahead and make your attack if you'd like to attack him.
Yep, I absolutely would.
At disadvantage.
Oh, disadvantage. Okay, so I'll roll again. Okay.
All right. You swing forward this huge haymaker, and he just brushes aside. And he just watches your fist.
With a 17, is he wearing armor?
He is not.
Oh my god. Okay, fair enough.
He knows kung fu.
All right. Yeah, he knows kung fu. Okay, cool. That's all I can do with my turn.
All right. On his action, he's going to make a single jab. He's going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to flurry of blows. Does a 16 and a 20 hit your armor class?
Yeah, they both hit.
Okay. All right, take 3 damage, reduce to 1 because you're raging. Take 5 damage, reduce to 2 because you're raging. And give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh fuck, man. Okay, normal Constitution saving throw. 15.
All right. You feel his strikes as they strike you and hit you. You can feel he's hitting pressure points with each of his strikes. And you feel a almost numbing sensation flow through your body, and you kind of shrug it off. Just kind of,
Okay.
just with that pure unbridled rage, you shrug it off.
Okay, cool.
And then he is going to move here. And I'll bring it back to your turn, Vale.
Okay, I'm going to attack him again with an unarmed strike. Am I doing this with advantage or with
No,
disadvantage?
it's just straight. And the 18 will hit.
Okay, cool.
So how do you hit him?
I throw a straight right directly into his nose.
Yeah, you strike true. He tried to dodge out of the way, and you actually managed to clip like side of his cheek. But you feel a wet sensation when you pull your hand back, and there's definitely blood on your fist at this point. This guy just looks up at you and he smiles, and like the front of his mouth is sort of like covered in blood now.
Mm-hmm. I remain stone faced and I don't even acknowledge that he smiled at me.
His first attack's gonna miss. He's gonna flurry of blows again.
Oh my god, dude.
I remember what his bonus is. I think he's plus 4. So it should be a 16 and an 11.
11 doesn't hit.
Okay.
16 hits.
All right, go ahead and take 5 damage, reduce to 2 because you're raging.
All right.
And that will end his turn because that is his bonus action.
I am gonna attack him again with an unarmed strike. That's all I can do. Okay. Normal.
Yep.
17. I'm gonna go ahead and use my inspiration die.
Sure, sounds good. All right, how do you hit him with this one?
Another straight right directly into his face.
Yeah, again, you just he tries to bob and weave, but you've got him nailed down. You smash him down again, and you can hear a crack when you hit his face.
Oh.
Like you're doing some serious damage.
Ooh.
You're strong and you fucking hurt.
All right.
All right, and he's gonna take his action.
Don't be afraid to use those inspiration dice if you need them.
Yep.
Oh, you got them. You already used it. Derp.
I just,
A 13 against your armor class.
negative.
My
That barely
dice are
misses.
not with me today. All right, he
Yep,
is going to assume a defensive position again. With his
Okay.
bonus action.
All right. I'm gonna try and hit him again with disadvantage. I assume this time.
Yes.
All right. 13.
No,
Nope.
this time he's got your number, and you swing and you miss, and when you miss, give me a athletics check. Never, oh, fuck. Give me an athletics check.
All right. Normal. All right. Normal athletics. 23.
Let's go.
Yeah, he tries to grab you when you go to strike him, but you just kind of push him off.
All right. And that's back to his turn, I believe.
Yeah. All right, he is going to move to this side of the arena and try to take a strike at you. 14.
My armor class is 14.
Okay, so that will hit you.
Yep.
So go ahead and take 4 damage, reduce to 2 because you're raging.
Alrighty.
And with his bonus action, he's going to make an unarmed strike. An 18.
18, yeah, it hits.
All right, take 3 damage, reduced to 1 because you're raging.
Alright.
And that'll bring us to your turn.
Alright,
By the way, like the whole crowd is going like, bail, bail, bail.
Alright, so I'm going to try and grab him and like suplex him onto his head.
Sure, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Alright. 12, fuck.
Okay.
Oof. Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, you go to grab him, and as you do, he just slips down underneath your hands, and your hands come together empty.
Alright. That's all I can do. I think that's my action, right? It's not a bonus action.
No, that is your action.
Alright, cool. Yep, that'll be it.
Give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
We'll go athletics. Oh my fuck. It was almost a natural one. That
All
could've
right,
been bad.
so when he ducks down and sweeps underneath your arms, he then moves one of his legs and connects with yours, and you fall ass over tea kettle onto the ground.
Okay.
Now prone.
Yeah, you are prone. There's a thing for this, but I can't find it right now. I'm just gonna put the little snail icon because I can't find the right one. If you guys want to do something,
Yeah,
let
you
me know.
said-
Just say something, no matter whose turn it is. And the next time it's your turn, you will be able to do something.
Like, I don't know what we can do that wouldn't be.
Are you out of bardic inspiration?
I have one more.
Yeah.
I sidle up to the side of the ring that they're fighting on amongst the patrons who are jostling and drunken.
22 against your armor class when you're prone.
Oh yeah, that for sure hits.
Oh, Bale's getting whooped.
Yeah. So
So-
when he trips you down, he comes down and fucking elbows you down on the ground before he scrambles back up to his feet.
So that's another 2.
Yeah, another 2 points of damage.
Yep. Alright. Is that the end of his turn?
That is the end of his turn.
When it comes
Alright.
back around to my initiative, I would like to do a thing.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So I use half my move, or is it half my movement or all my movement to stand back up?
Half your movement to stand up. Half your speed.
Alright, I'm gonna stand back up. Either
Okay.
way, I would stand back up, and I'm gonna try and hit him again.
Go for it.
Alright. That's a natural 20.
Go.
That's 7 points of damage instead of 6.
Okay.
Wait, is it? Yeah, no, it's just
Yeah,
the
it-
one. that
yeah,
gets
it just- yeah.
Yep. Cool.
However, a natural 20 cannot miss. So, what do you do to him this time?
I sort of feint like I'm gonna throw the straight right again, and I use like a tight left hook towards like I kind of aim at his neck, anticipating that he's gonna try and duck a little bit, so it'll hit him in the head.
I will say, because it's cool and because you rolled a natural 20, you come through and you smash him with this horrifying like uppercut, right? And you knock him off of his feet, and he lands on the ground, and he's dazed for a moment. So he'll lose his turn.
Okay, and so when it comes back to my
Well,
turn, is he
that'll-
still prone?
And that'll bring us to story.
Okay, yep.
I'm just gonna be like, Bale, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. And I'm gonna give him my last bardic inspiration.
Okay. You get your bargain inspiration.
Am I
All
able
right.
to, like, incite the crowd at all?
MC roll. That's
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. What do you want to do? What do you want to do, Wilder?
I want to like start getting the crowd pumped up to like shoving people, like yeah, like bail.
Yeah,
trying
give
to
me
get people, like,
a
angry.
persuasion check with advantage.
Start a mosh pit, Wilder.
Yes.
Yeah, I honestly, the 10 is good enough. Like the whole freaking crowd is super fucking hyped, and they're like hyper focused on what's going on, and they're cheering, and some of them are booing, and some of them are like, it's a friggin' riot in here right now. Like, this is the liveliest you've seen this place. Let's take a moment from our fight and check in with our other character for a moment.
Oh my god! All right.
Elron, you slipped away, and you hear the cheers of the crowd as Bale pummels the shit out of the first victim. But you make your way through a darkened corridor, the crowd getting quieter and quieter as you slowly slink your way through. It doesn't appear like there's anyone in this section. It's a long corridor, maybe 50, 60 feet long. And there are 3 doors in the corridor, 2 on the left side wall and 1 directly ahead of you at the end of the hall.
I head straight for the one at the end of the hall.
Okay. Bypassing the 2 doors on the side, you make your way to the door at the end of the hall. Appears to be a lacquered wooden door with the hinges seem to be made of brass, and a kind of a brass locking mechanism there on the front of it. Testing the door, it is locked.
Use my thief tools to pick the lock.
Go ahead and give me a Thieves Tools check.
Did I just click on it in my inventory?
Yep.
Or over on the left?
Yeah, over on the left side. This will determine how... dexterity.
Dexterity.
This will determine how long it takes. It takes you
Alright.
it takes you a little bit of time, but the tumblers are easy enough for your skilled hands to make their way through. The crowd is very faint now, and occasionally you can hear kind of the uproar in the background, which can't help but bring a smile to your face as you know your friend is kicking ass right now. But with a satisfying click, the final tumbler falls into place. The door is now unlocked.
I stealthily open the door and proceed into the room.
Peering into the darkened room, you can view, because of your dark vision, the shades of gray that surround you, as there is no light in here whatsoever. On a table, you can see what appears to be a small hooded lantern, filled with those same crystals that you've seen elsewhere in the town. As well, directly ahead of you, you see what appears to be a large wooden desk. You also see behind the desk there is a shelf full of several different kinds of vials in different colors, several different sets of vials as well.
I take as many of those potions as I can hold.
Sure, go ahead and write down.
Do it in my notes because it'll be faster.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
You find 4 blue potions, 1 yellow potion, 2 red potions, 1 black potion, and 3 green potions.
All right. I'm also then going to turn and investigate the desk and see if there's anything in there paperwork-wise, manifests, possibly any information on this wanted person that they're being hunted.
Sure, go ahead and give me an investigation check. Remember, every check takes time. You don't know how much you have. Okay. When you begin investigating the desk, it seems like a lot of the paperwork on the top is kind of irrelevant. It's a lot of mining paperwork, what different areas are still rich in crystals and what parts still have copper in them. There's all sorts of stuff. But when you're investigating the desk, one of the drawers is locked. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna pick the lock.
Give me a Thieves' Tools check to see how quickly you manage to pick the lock.
Oh my god.
You still have an inspiration die.
That's
do.
true. 1d6.
I'm gonna 6.
Now, I tell you, you have to choose to use the die before I tell you what happens.
Yep, I'm using it.
Alright, so go ahead and slash
it.
roll 1d6.
Okay.
No, that you didn't roll that.
Wait, what do I do?
Uh,
I'm doing it wrong.
Like that, without the dot.
Flash roll. Okay, yeah, I put a space between 1 and D6.
Yep. You didn't actually roll that die. Okay.
All right.
This
Not
one,
terrible.
this one takes you a little longer than the first lock, because this one is a lot more complex. And the more and more you work at it, you're like, there's gotta be something in here that's pretty important if it's taking this long. But when you finally crack the drawer open, there is a small wooden box inside.
I just take the box without checking its what's inside and leave.
Okay. I'll let you know when you reemerge into the arena. Back at the fight at hand. Yes, he is still prone, Bale.
All right. Doesn't Story get a turn? I believe she wanted to do something.
Yes,
I
story
did my
inspired
thing.
you.
She
Oh yeah.
inspired
Okay.
me.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. Yep. Okay, I remember. All right. I'm going to try and hit him again. I'm gonna
Sure.
try and like I don't know, kicking him while he's down is kind of dirty. I'm gonna try and like do like a standing hammer fist, like come down on him with my full body weight on a hammer fist.
Sure, before you do that, give me a perception check.
Perception right here. Natural 1.
The whole crowd is chanting your name. You got this, man. You got this.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I would like to do something my next turn too.
Sure.
All right. Unarmed strike. 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
You,
D6.
sorry, you have advantage, so go ahead and just click the button again. Don't
Oh,
don't
yeah,
roll
you're
with
right,
advantage.
you're
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
you're right, you're
Because
right, you're right.
he's prone.
I forgot. Nope, no
Yeah.
better.
You grab him, and when you're like holding him up, right, like by his neck, and as soon as your fist goes to make contact, he moves in such a way that you smash your own arm.
Oh,
You don't do any damage,
okay.
but you do you instinctively let go of him, and he is standing now.
Okay, cool.
All right. Story.
Okay, I'm going to cast message and sort of point at the direction I know Elrond went in, and said, "Hey, just checking in. Fight's going super good. It might be over real soon. You can respond to this message."
That message would get to you when you are in the middle of unlocking the drawer.
Nice.
You have the option of stopping.
No, I don't stop. I still. That's why. I say that's message is why I take it without looking and immediately.
You,
stop.
well, you like just started unlocking it.
I just started unlocking it
Yeah.
right now at the point of the fight.
You can respond to the message.
It doesn't matter. Don't take the time to do that.
I'm gonna send a message back to Story to stall.
Okay. Oh, I can't respond yet, but
Now you can talk freely on your turn.
yeah, but message is a once back and forth sort of deal.
But okay, you can't send him a message back, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I'm like, okay. to
Anything
myself.
else you'd like to do? You've used your action.
I'm going to position myself over here so that
What hold on. What components does the message spell require?
let me just double check.
What are the like
Yeah.
verbal components and stuff?
Verbal, somatic, and material.
Are you hiding the fact that you're doing this?
Yes, I am trying to hide. It's you
Give me
point
a
your
sleight of
finger
hand
to-
check with advantage because Bale's being pretty distracting.
I'm sort of good at this.
Okay.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
lord.
You feel fairly confident that no one noticed you do it.
Okay, and then I'm gonna move over opposite of the doorway, so that I can potentially, when I see Elrond trying to emerge, and I'm keeping an eye out for that, I'll be able to distract the crowd somehow. I'm just gonna ready an action.
Well, you don't have an action to ready.
You are right. I will do that next turn.
Okay, so you would like to do something with your next turn. Got it. Wilder checking in. Is there anything you'd like to be doing? Other than keeping the crowd hyped?
I'm still having like a mosh pit with the crowd back here.
Okay, great. All right, that will bring us back to the other guy's turn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, give me another athletics check.
Oh my Christ. Okay.
He runs around you, and as he does, he grabs one of your arms and pulls it in such a way that he locks you in the position you're in.
So I'm grappled.
You are grappled.
Okay.
It is your turn. You can attempt to break the
Yeah.
grapple, but it is your action to do so.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. 17?
Against armor class?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits.
Go ahead and take 3 points of damage reduced to 1. As he jabs his elbow into you while he holds your arm.
All right.
As a note, Elrond, he does not know he needs to stall.
Yeah, no, I'm like, this dude is like, we're like
He
kicking the
doesn't
shit out of
know
each other.
yet.
Story or Wilder would need to like inform him.
Well, I mean, I do.
I don't know anything right
Or,
now.
yeah, Story would
Story's
need
the
to
only
inform
one.
both of
I
them.
do, however, know that I'm trying to create a distraction here. So, like, don't worry. I'll hype the even if I knock him out with the next punch, I'll continue hyping the crowd up for as long as I can.
I mean, I got a almost full-blown mosh pit going.
Exactly.
He does
Okay.
look pretty hurt.
All right. So, fuck it. I'm gonna go to the face. Unarmed strike.
All right, at disadvantage, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Disadvantage. Oh, yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
grappled.
because he is grappling you.
Okay. 13. Yeah. It's not
Unfortunately, will miss. So you try to reach your elbow back and strike him, but he's just moving out of the way as he's holding you, pinning you in this position.
All right. And I believe Mech would like to make a turn.
Yeah, Mech, what would you like to do?
Oh jeez, I'm debating if I ready an action as a distraction or try and send the message to Bale. I'm just gonna ready my action that if I see Elrond emerging, I would like to sort of like pretend to get up to do like a big cheer, and I want to fall face first into the arena.
Okay, so if you see Elrond, you're going to fall into the arena.
Yes.
Okay. No problem.
I'm going to pretend to accidentally fall.
Okay. Got it. All right. It's going to bring us back to the bad guy's turn. And he's going to take 2 jabs at you. He's essentially trying to, like, kick your legs to, like, knock you down. 17 and a 10.
17 hits, 10 does not.
All right, go ahead and take 4 points of damage, reduced to 2, because you're raging.
Fuck.
How much you got left?
I got 14. I'm more than half still.
We don't know that though.
Yeah.
I know.
He's taking some wallops, but, like, you've seen Bale get really hurt and still be fine. And bring us to your turn, Bale.
All right, I'm gonna attempt to break the grapple.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Athletics. This is important.
Or acrobatics, to be your
6.
choice.
Athletics. I'm gonna go ahead and use the 1d6.
Well, I'm gonna let you know now. He rolled a 7 for a total
okay,
of
so
11.
I'm not gonna do that. Then.
Yeah,
Thank
you
for letting me know.
you strike him in such a way not to do damage, but to get him to let go, and he does let go of you. So you are free.
Okay, cool. And I think that's my turn.
Okay. And that will bring us back to story. Your trigger did not go off. Is there anything you'd like to do, or would you like to maintain the same trigger?
I think I'm going to maintain the same trigger.
Okay.
I'm sort of like bopping around, getting into the fight.
He takes 2 swift strikes at you,
Oh,
and both of
fuck
them
me.
strike true.
Yep, they sure do.
Oof.
take 2 and 3 points of damage.
Okay.
And give me a Constitution saving throw.
Hold up, 2 and 3. All right, Constitution. Now
Yeah, no problem. Again, he tries to strike some of your vitals, and you just kind of shrug it off.
Okay.
Bring
My
us
turn
back
now?
to your turn.
All right, I'm gonna like, ooh. I am going to attack recklessly.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack at advantage.
Alrighty. 16. I'm gonna use my 1d6.
Sure.
2, 18. Okay.
And that is just enough to hit him.
Yep. 6 points of damage.
He's looking real rough right now.
Okay.
He looks like he's barely standing on his feet, but he's still going.
Mm-hmm.
Wilder, story?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So like, there's like what? Like everybody's kind of packed shoulder to shoulder, right? We're all kind of like, yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna kind of like fall into the guy next to me, and kind of hopefully do like a domino effect since we're all kind of like on this greasy floor and all that kind of stuff.
Go ahead and make an athletics check, I suppose would be probably the closest thing to be
Yeah.
trying to do what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Trying to accidentally start a mosh pit.
Come on, 12.
Well, you managed to knock the guy next to you over, but it
Alright.
does not domino effect.
All right.
But he just pats you on the shoulder and like lifts you back up and then sets you right next to him, and he's got his arm around you now. Bale, give me a perception check from that kind of event that kind of caught your eye for a moment.
Perception. Dog shit.
Yeah,
Oh, that
no,
was with advanced. That'd
it's
be the 3 anyway.
like
yeah.
you're just seeing red at this point. Like the only thing you can really see and hear is the guy in front of you.
Yep.
Everything else is just a blur right now. Story, anything else you'd like to do?
I'm still holding.
Oh,
Yep.
All right,
Total.
that'll bring us
Oh,
back
gang.
to the other guy's turn.
This is gonna fucking hurt. Yep. No 20s.
Take another 5 points of damage total.
Okay.
As now it appears like when he's on his last leg, he's not fucking around anymore. Like he is
Yep.
literally just beating the shit out of you.
Swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My
Elrond,
turn again. Oh yeah, Elrond. Yep.
at this point, you are trying to slip back into the room. Is there anything you'd like to do other than just move quietly?
no, I'd like to just stealthily kind of just slip back in. Maybe specifically over to the dwarf I spoke to earlier, or to the bar first so I can get a beer. I'm gonna slip directly to the barkeep and buy a beer.
Sure, I'll tell you what. Go ahead and give me a stealth check with advantage to see if you can seamlessly get back in without anyone noticing.
Stealth check with advantage.
All right.
Okay.
I have made a note. You slip back into the room and just kind of move quietly through the crowd. No one seems to even acknowledge your presence. And as you are kind of walking past toward the bar proper, you see Bale getting the shit beat out of him.
I'm guessing he was so sneaky I didn't even see him, so I'm still looking at the door, trying to be like, man, when is he coming?
Yeah, like there's people like in front of you, like moving back and forth, and he just like seamlessly slipped in. I would say by the time he's right next to you, he'd probably make his presence known, or he might just walk past you.
When would my turn take place?
You would be able to get
Fail attacks?
like here with your first movement from the door.
Okay.
And we'll say you're going right before Bale does,
Okay.
All right.
which it's your action, Bale.
I'm gonna fuck it all in. I'm gonna attack recklessly again.
All right, go for it.
All right. Okay. 6 points of damage.
How do you want to do this?
Let's go.
Oh my god.
I sort of like grab him like around the throat with my left hand. I raise a fist to the sky. I go, Barodan, this one's for you. And I just sink it into his face as hard as I can.
Yeah, you hear like a loud, sickening like crack, and he just goes limp in your hands. Just he is fucking out. He's not dead. He's just fucking like, out.
I'm like, you killed him.
And you just like
And
kind of
then,
casually toss him aside like a rag doll.
And then I do like a Rocky 3 where I like jump up in the air, put my hands up, and like kind of come down like a kneeling position. I'm just like bleeding everywhere.
The whole fucking crowd is like fucking cheering and fucking like finally your rage fades and like you're feeling it now. You're feeling the hits you took, and you look around and you see Elron in the crowd.
Alright, I give him like a wave and then like kind of sort of like get myself up super heavily and like kind of hobble back over to my corner
I'm
and
gonna
like start to climb out of the
hop
ring.
down to like help him out.
So as you make your way back over to your corner, one of the random people kind of drags the other guy out, and the woman in armor kind of walks over to you, and she goes and she puts her hand on your shoulder, and you feel a warm, soothing, kind of gentle embrace
Oh shit. She
pour out of her hand.
Alright.
Go ahead and get back 5 hit points.
I'll take it.
You fought well.
What's that?
You fought well.
Thank you very much. It's something I'm used to, but it's not something I've had to do in quite a while.
It's all right. I had gold on you, so appreciate it.
I give her a wink. I say thanks for the vote of confidence.
She walks back over toward the door. The other guy is dragged off into one of the side rooms, one of the tunnels that leads outward, as the rest of you reconvene. It appears that there's going to be some more fights if you guys are interested in watching, but apparently you and that guy were like the highlight as the crowd kind of like dies down a little bit.
I say we get Bale a drink.
Yep, that sounds good. Maybe back at the tavern rather than here. Maybe,
Well,
you know.
it might be less suspicious, I think, if we watch a fight.
Oh
and
yeah,
then-
no, that's a
and
good
then-
point.
and then go out.
I
Yeah,
I
I
walk
am
up
gonna-
to the bartender
remember-
to claim my gold.
Yeah,
Remember
sorry,
how
he went back into the bar proper, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would go buy Bale a drink though and bring it to him.
Yeah, Bale stays here, and I just go over to next.
I turn to Elron and I whisper, how did it go?
And I just nod slightly, and in Draconic say, "Well."
In Draconic, I say, if you have the goods on you, you're probably gonna want to get them out of here post haste. You can always come back and enjoy a fight or two.
Wilder, you are paid out 30 gold.
All right.
I'm gonna wait until the next fight starts, and then just kind of stealthily make my way out when the crowd's bumping again.
All right, cool, excellent.
How much does it cost to buy Bale a beer?
A beer for him. Oh, it's free. It was the best damn fight I've seen all month.
All right, I'm gonna take the beer over to Bale and just sort of put it in his hands.
I sort of.
You cut out.
Oh, do I overhear this at all, or probably not over the crowd?
No, not over the crowd. They
Alright, fair
like the doors that are between this room and the arena are pretty muffling.
Okay, cool.
So if you're hanging out in the arena, like Story just walks up and shoves a beer in your hands.
Yeah, I'm just kind of leaning on the edge,
Mm.
on the railing or whatever.
So you guys watch a fight. It's not particularly impressive, just two guys beating the shit out of each other.
During that fight, I would like to stealthily kind of just slip my way out, so hopefully it's almost like nobody remembered I was ever there, because I came in stealthily and left stealthily.
Sure. Yeah, you don't even need to roll work. I'm gonna keep your stealth check from before. Yeah, you managed to just kind of squeeze your way out of the door when the doorman's looking, talking to somebody on the side. You just slip past him. He doesn't even seem to pay you any mind.
Yeah, and then I head back to the inn to wait for them.
All right. I say we go back to the inn and take stock.
Sure, not a problem.
We should do that in a private room.
Yeah,
Not
100%.
not at the inn.
Yep.
No.
Hmm.
Is the salesman
Oh
guy
wait.
still there? Is the enchanter salesman guy still there?
Hold up. Before we leave, can I talk to whoever's in charge? And
Yeah,
ask
sorry,
for my
you got paid out 10 gold.
10 gold. Excellent.
So we go to a normal table, or we?
Yes, Claudius is still outside. He appears to be standing reading a book of some sort.
How
Modified potion.
approximately do you think we have? Oh, you can now? Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. What time of night is it?
It's pretty late. I'd say you guys were probably there for about maybe like an hour and a half. It's probably like getting around midnight at this point.
We go back
Okay,
to the
perfect.
end. I go up to the barkeep. I'm just gonna buy a meal, and then we should all go probably to a private room.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to talk to Claudius.
Oh, we
No,
do, but we
Mech-
want to.
Mech
Yeah.
can, check him out for us now.
Okay.
We also want to look. Oh yeah, she can, but we also want to look and see what's inside the what's in the box.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
So I buy all 4 of us a meal, and then we head to a private room. So 2 silver,
5 silver.
5 silver. Okay,
And it's just more stuff from earlier. It's the sausage and biscuits.
cool. And then we head to a private room.
Is there a private room for us to go to, or do we
Yeah,
just go?
we
Mech,
just go,
Mech
like,
had rooms. Well, we just go to our room.
Stairway.
Oh yeah, we
Okay.
go upstairs to one of our rooms.
As a note, the rooms are back here.
Ah, gotcha.
Where? I missed the thing.
Oh, I see. Up top.
Oh, I see him.
Scroll all the way up. Yep.
Now there are rooms upstairs. If you guys wanted an upstairs room, you could have one. But I figured being able to see where you guys are going is
Yeah, no, that's
not pictured as another bed in that room.
all right.
So yeah, first off, what we got 30 gold total from my bet I put.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that
Um,
was your own.
Well, you
personal
don't know
goal.
that. You don't know that.
Oh yeah, I know.
Story, by the way, since I assumed you attuned to the cloak, it is a cloak of frost resistance. It gives you resistance to cold damage. As long as it is attuned. It does require attunement. I will give you an item card for that next week. Or next time we sit down and play.
Fluffy.
Sweet. Yeah. So while I rummage through my pack and pull out the potions and hand them to Mech so that she can identify and pull out the box, I inquire
Story.
a while about the winnings.
To story.
Clasps Elron. Oops, sorry.
The story. Sorry.
There you go.
I kind of clasp Elron behind the back. I'm like, you made a good bet, you're my friend, and I kind of give him the sack of 30 gold, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm in still hype mode.
I'm
Writing,
I'm curious. How low were you, Bale?
I was at 4 hit points.
Let's go.
So if he had gotten another good round off, I would have been fucked. Cause especially because
Alright.
I did a fucking reckless attack. Like he almost certainly would have hit me with both.
All right. That was a good fight.
Yeah,
was
that
very
was,
good
that was a
fight.
close one.
That was a very good fight.
All right, I'm gonna start casting Identify on these potions.
Hold up. Before we do that, couldn't we just have that dude outside do it for free and save the pearl for later?
The pearl
It
doesn't get
consume the
consumed.
pearl.
Yeah,
I can do
pearl
it
doesn't
for
get
free
consumed.
too.
Oh, okay. Oh, it doesn't consume the pearl. Yeah, absolutely.
Now each object that you identify takes a spell cast. If I'm not mistaken.
How many different colors of potion did we have again?
There are 5.
All right, I'm gonna burn all 3 spell slots to do 3 of them as actions, and then I'm going to ritual cast Identify the other 2 times.
Did we determine if you could ritual cast?
Yes.
Okay.
We did.
Okay, so you can identify all of the potions then.
Correct.
Okay. So it'll take you guys about half an hour to get all of these potions identified.
While she's doing that, I'm also gonna go open the box and look what's inside of that.
There
Acid
is
bomb.
a beautiful dagger inside with a ruby in the hilt.
Oh shit.
I'm guessing I have to identify that too.
We can do that later. We can do that when we wake up in the morning or whatever. Get a good long rest in so I can heal my face, not look so broken.
Yeah, we'll get a 4 because it's like night, so we can sleep till morning.
Give me 1 second. Okay. So, your blue potion, again, I will have item cards for these things next week. The blue potions are potions of water breathing.
How many of
The-
those do we have?
4.
The yellow potion is a potion of haste.
Oh shit.
The
Oh, shit.
red potions are potions of healing. The black potion is a potion of cloud giant strength.
Oh goddamn.
And the green potions are potions of climbing and swimming.
Oh, those are both very nice.
So let's do each one of us obviously take 1 blue potion of water breathing. So add that to your bags.
Yep.
The red potion of healing, Mech, or Story, you take 1, and I'll take the other one for the extra. So I'll go up to 2 healing potions.
Well, no,
and that'll give
Wilder
you
Wilder
healing
doesn't
potions
have a
also.
healing potion yet.
No, he does.
Right.
Story was the one that didn't take it.
No, I do.
Because she had healing spells.
Okay, yep,
Oh.
yep.
The black potion of Cloud Giant, Bayo, why don't you take that? That looks like a good fit for you.
Sure, man.
And Wilder, you just take the 3 green potions, so you can do stuff during combat if you need to.
What were the green potions again?
They're potions
like-
of climbing and swimming.
Utility potions.
And then 3 potions of haste. How do we want to divide those up?
There's a potion of haste.
1 potion of
Oh,
haste.
a
I'm keeping the haste potion.
As a
Oh, yeah, go
note,
for it.
if you guys are curious what these do, you can look them up online if you so choose.
Okay, yeah.
But notably, the haste potion gives you the haste effect for 1 minute.
Yeah, so for each turn is 6 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
so
essentially get
for
10 turns where you get an extra action, which
And
can
that's
only
10
be used to attack, dash, or
that's
something
10
else.
That's 10 individual turns, though,
Yes.
not rounds.
Um,
I'm gonna keep the haste potion.
and the
Yep.
potion of cloud giant strength increases your strength score to 27 for 1 hour.
Oh, shit.
Dang.
To 27.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the potions of climbing and swimming give you a climb and a swim speed.
Wow. How many of those do we have?
With 3.
3.
3.
3. Okay. How do we want to divide those up?
I just gave
currently
him a
have 3
Wilder
of
for
them.
now.
Okay, that's cool. We can figure that out later.
Anything else you guys would like to
should
do?
have 1 water breathing and 1.
Yeah, we
Water
each took 1
versus-
water breathing.
And we each have at least 1 healing potion, and Wilder also has the elixir of health.
Elron, you gave yourself a 30 gold, right?
Yes.
Okay,
I did.
just make sure.
I turn to Elron and I go, "You should not have bet so much. It was a very close thing."
And I put my hand on his shoulder and say, "No bet on you is a bad bet."
I laugh.
Story, are you going to identify the dagger, by the way?
It'll take 10 minutes to do so if people are interested in finding out about
Yes,
it.
100%.
Okay, yeah, I will
100%.
I will identify it.
Okay.
Alright.
As you finish casting the spell, the dagger itself is not magical. However, the ruby that is affixed to the blade is magical. It is a ruby of the War Mage. It can be
Oh.
attached and detached from a weapon. If you attune to it, you can essentially remove it from the weapon and put it on a different one. And when you do so, that weapon becomes an arcane focus that is usable by any spellcaster.
Now, do you have one of those already? Do you already have an arcane focus?
My focus is my loot.
Dude, we can go try and trade to that dude for that fucking greatsword or something else crazy.
I'm not sure if
I-
it's that valuable.
All right, fair
I
enough.
don't think it'd be fair valuable as a greatsword, but I feel like it would still be significantly valuable, and it would get it out of our hands. And he's leaving tomorrow morning. So looking for
Yeah,
this duel, it is literally not in the city.
if we want to trade it, we got to do it now.
Because the only spellcaster is Story, and she has one.
Yep.
So I feel like we should go out. We should trade this to him. Get it
Or just
literally out of the
or
city.
just sell
tonight
it
since
to him
it's
and
stolen.
get like
Or-
a load of
yeah,
moody gold.
Trade it or sell it, either one, whichever we find is suitable for what he thinks its value is.
Wilder story.
I'm in agreement.
All right,
And that
fine.
will literally get it out of the town tomorrow morning, an item that we stole. So if by the time they even realize it's stolen, it won't even be here anymore.
All right, let's go talk to him.
Yeah. So let's go. We'll take it out to the vendor and get it appraised and possibly sell it or trade it.
We're going to see Claudius again.
Sure, you
Let's
guys
see Claudius
step back up to Claudius, who appears to be reading some sort of a book, standing at his cart, and he warmly smiles to you all as you all approach. Ah, welcome back, my friends. What can I do for you today?
My
I,
dear man.
I approach and reach into my bag and pull out the box and kind of slowly open it and show him and say, "We found something quite interesting for you."
Interesting. Now, how perchance would you have come across something like this so soon after we last spoke?
Let's just say some people made some bad decisions with who they bet on in the fights.
Suppose that's fair enough. He once again traces that sigil in the air, and his eyes glow blue. Ah, well, the dagger itself I'm not interested in, but the gemstone I certainly am. Are you looking to trade, or are you looking to sell?
Depends what you have to offer in trade and what you have to offer in gold.
How much credit would you give us for this?
I would give you perhaps 300 gold pieces in credit, but 200 in cash.
What
Oh.
items do you have available worth 300 gold that might interest us?
What an excellent question. He kind of glances over his cart. He plucks another ruby from the cart and sets it down. This, my friends, could be invaluable to you in the future. However, this is a one-time thing. Once you use it, its magic will be rendered inert. But by cracking this crystal in your hands, you will be able to conjure forth a creature of flame to defend you in battle.
It probably wouldn't work underwater, but it could still be useful later on.
Is that all you have to offer for that price range?
I figured you'd be more interested in that. Call me offended.
No. That's very serious. Do you by chance have anything other than armor that would make me more defensive, more difficult to hit in a fight?
I say I don't mean to offend. I'm just looking for something more permanent.
We just want to explore our options, good friend. Dear enchanter.
I love the cloak, by the way.
Thank you. I thought it would look lovely on you. As soon as I saw you, I knew. It was meant to be. If you're looking for some more permanent objects, I have a few curiosities in my cart, but such a piece, mystical items are worth easily their weight in platinum, as you adventurous types do understand.
Of course.
So, but I do have some things. I have this, and he pulls off a somewhat thinner box, and he sets it down, and he opens it up, and inside is a beautiful silvered rapier with almost a blue sheen to it. And when he pulls it out, he unsheaths the scabbard, maybe 2 inches, and a soft, warm moonlight pours out of the blade. This here is what's known as a moonlight rapier. Should you pull it from its sheath, it will shed light nearby, allowing you and your allies to see when you find yourselves in the dark corners of the earth.
I turned to Elrond. Could be useful in any number of ways, especially if you decide to get up close and do some proper fighting.
As well as if you so choose, Nox, and the blade loses its illumination. You may also turn it off at will. And he puts it back in the scabbard, and then re-pulls it out, and it's glowing once again.
Is this considered a balanced weapon? Can it be used as an offhand as well?
It cannot. It is not an offhand weapon. You cannot offhand a rapier.
It's a finesse weapon.
It is a finesse weapon, so you can have it in your main hand, but you can't put it in your offhand.
Does it have the disadvantage put on it underwater?
No, it is a piercing weapon.
Yes, it's a stabby weapon, so it would be like your bow is you're gonna have disadvantage on attacks underwater,
I mean,
but
if
this
you
guy
guys are
you would
cool
not.
with me getting the sword and not getting something else for the party, yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean,
Now that being said, I am a believer in equivalent trade whenever I do my trade in mystical items, and I believe your item is worth much more than mine. So I would sweeten the pot, shall we say? And he
with
produces a small, thin box, very, very small, and he opens it up, and inside is a crook of wood. It appears to be a wand of some sort, and he hands it over to Story. Try it out on one of your friends.
oh my god. Bale gets really excited. He goes, ooh, turn me into to a frog or a bird or some shit. Do it.
Just swish it in the
I'm
air.
gonna point it at Bale.
You feel a release of mystical energy from the wand. Bale, give me a charisma saving throw.
Oh my god. Normal charisma. Here we go. That's a 4. That's rough.
You feel your face contort, and you can't stop smiling, even though it's kind of painful. You just can't stop smiling. It just won't stop. He just has this big like shit-eating grin on his face, and it won't come off of him. And you can see he's like kind of in duress about it. This is known as a wand of smiles. Should you point it at someone, they will be unable to smile at you for a small bit of time.
Guys,
Does it?
is the best thing ever.
Okay, I think we know what we
yeah,
want
I'm,
here.
I'm fine with this.
The wand and the blade, and we'll say 10 gold pieces for your trouble.
One extra healing potion instead of the 10 gold pieces.
Give me a persuasion check.
Big money, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money.
Oof.
Oh.
15 gold pieces, but that's my offer.
What did he say? It was 25 for the healing potions then?
He said it was 40.
It was 40 for a healing
yeah,
potion.
I'll just take the gold.
15 gold, divided however you choose amongst yourselves. 1 wand, and he gestures at Story, who's still holding the wand, and 1 moonlight rapier for you, sir.
I just made a killing off Bale, so why don't you 3 just add 5 gold each for the gold?
I've got my
Okay.
wand.
Lovely.
Yeah, but I got a rapier and all that shit, so just add 5 gold. You and Bale and Wilder.
I gotta make notes, because I gotta, like, give you guys all this shit.
Yeah,
I
I've been keeping track of everything
Same.
that I've been handed. I have the shield, I have the
rapier.
healing potion, all of it.
He needs to make cards for it though.
Yeah, cards.
Yeah.
What is my
Oh, the
sword?
items.
Should I just add what, like fancy rapier?
Write down moonlight rapier. And I will give you an item card for that next week so you know everything that it does.
So just a question to the DM: if he dual wields that with like a dagger, does that mean he'll get an attack with each turn if he decides to do melee attacks, or what?
You may use your bonus action to attack with your offhand weapon, but you do not apply your ability modifier to the offhand attack.
Can my
Okay.
short sword be an offhand weapon, or does it have? Or is only my dagger?
We will explore that in between games. So
Okay.
we're getting ready to wrap up here, so
Yep.
I will give you a ruling on that later.
So, can I just make a stipulation to the enchanter, like, okay, ruby is yours, you have to take the dagger, melt it down, sell it, throw it in the river, I don't care, but you have to take the dagger as well as the ruby.
He picks up the dagger and says, "Very well." And you watch as he moves one hand and the dagger just melts into a cube in his hand. And he sets it on his cart. Easy enough.
I look extremely satisfied. Thank you so much. It's been lovely doing business with you.
As well as you folks. Do take care.
Bye, Claudius. See you later.
See you soon.
Goodbye, friend. I'm sorry, miss. I didn't ever catch your name.
My name is Story.
Ah, what a lovely name for a lovely lass.
And I thank him again and tell him my name is Elron and hope we meet again someday.
He gives you a deep bow. I'm sure we will, my friend. I'm sure we will.
I point a thumb to my chest and I say, Bale of the Frostblood, and I give Story a wink. A wink at Story.
Ah, the Frostblood clan. You are exploits known far and wide, my friend. He gives you a wink at that.
Wilder asks him again for that letter of recommendation.
Once again, perhaps if we do business in the future. My recommendation comes pretty highly sought after among certain circles.
Alright, return to the inn and we take a long rest.
Yep.
All right, we'll go ahead and end our game for the day. And thank
That's,
anyone for stopping by and watching, and I hope you guys will tune in for the next one.